Nicholas Murphy was arrested this week and indicted on 6 charges. Murphy resigned from his position at Ardmore High School on January 13th of this year. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bell's cleaning service get your home in order. Families in the River region trust Southern Bell's because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bell's today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bell's Cleaning River Region.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. When you call Alabama Home Mortgage, you will immediately see the difference in pricing. Not only do we offer the most competitive rates, but our closing costs rank among the lowest in the industry. How do we do it? Because we can. We do not have the overhead that big banks and lenders do. Those big banks and lenders have big expenses. And what do? They pass those expenses along to you. Meanwhile, here at Alabama Home Mortgage, we receive wholesale rates which result in big savings that we pass along to you. Don't pay more for less. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our rates and pricing are just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
For Montgomery's conversational radio show, it's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is a Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
And you're clarifying this now. But there's a public perception that that was part of a apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
Stop.
You hope,
Don't advertise.
you don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f*** yourself. But go f*** yourself.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program here on a Friday free-for-all. Could you mute that computer over there? We call this show Joey Clark Live online. We might still call it News and Views locally for the time. In studio with me, we have Eddie Bader and Craig Monger. How you two gentlemen doing?
I'm currently handling a crisis.
You're handling a crisis?
I'm handling a crisis, so give me like 5 seconds.
Okay.
I hear an echo in my headphones.
Yeah, is that actually muted? Yeah.
I love the sound of my own voice. It's so sultry.
It is muted?
Yeah.
Okay, I know how to fix it. There we go.
I can fix it.
Yeah, somebody said we were bleeding through on the TV. So.
Oh, no.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all right. So how's everybody doing today?
Wonderful.
Other than your crisis.
Other than my crisis.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of which, give me 1 second.
Okay, well, how about this? Craig will join us a little later, folks.
See, Craig.
Things have
Love you,
just
brother.
come up. So that leaves Eddie and I to talk about the serious things. You brought up a prompt, one of these, like, would you rather things.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's not the dirty stuff. Get your mind out of the gutter, folks.
No, and I got this. I literally stole this from an internet show I watched. But it was a solid question, I thought. And this is mostly dudes, and this is a dude question.
So you're Pete Hegseth or Kash Patel?
Yes. Both these guys. I love both those guys.
They're doing great.
Bobby
Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard?
I enjoy them as well. But Kash Patel yesterday,
yeah, they're all great.
Solid. But anyway, on the would you rather.
Would you rather?
Would you rather fight 10 chicken-sized bears?
Fight 10 chicken-sized bears.
Yes. Or would you rather fight 10 bear-sized chickens?
So the either or here is 10 chicken-sized bears.
Yes.
Or 10 bear-sized chickens.
Yes. Would you rather fight? Which would you rather fight?
The chicken-sized bears.
You're going with the chicken-sized
A
bears?
bear-sized chicken would murk you.
Yeah.
Something bad, baby.
It would eviscerate you. Just one.
Just one. You don't even need the 10.
Would eviscerate you.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen what a chicken will do to like a field mouse?
I've literally taken a snake and threw it in the chicken pen and watched it. It's the end of the snake in 1.2 seconds.
Now bears are the king. As far as like actual animals to kill you, bears. But like a chicken-sized bear, I feel like I could just punt 10 of those across the yard.
Right. You give yourself a little room.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, they might scratch you a little bit.
A little bit.
But a chicken is just going to take that beak and like pop it through the top of your skull like Starship Troopers. Just,
Yep,
you're
and
just
that's
done.
it.
Yeah, but how fast are these tiny bears?
As fast as a chicken.
Well, probably I would say even if they're as fast as a bear, like they're just getting you from the shin
And
down.
at worst,
Right,
if you kick them hard enough, probably they're going to run. They're not just.
Well,
So these are cowardly bears.
Well, that doesn't count as part of the analogy that they're like
So you
the
gotta kill
analogy
'em?
is that they're ferocious.
Oh, they are
Yeah.
ferocious.
So
All of it.
I feel like I could snuggle with the bears.
I
could make them my friend.
When did you become a woman?
I just feel like I could make them my friend. I could people talk.
I
They
just
are cute.
love watching the videos of people like messing with like full-grown grizzly bears, and then they're just mystified when their jugular gets sliced open. It's like, people have this unrealistic idea of animals.
That
you
and
gone-
Yellowstone. I love when they go look at the buffalo and
Yeah.
they get as close to you and I, and the buffalo's like, I need my space.
Moose are worse. The
Oh, yeah.
people that mess
People
with the
actually
moose.
die
Yeah.
with
Oh yeah, they get
moose
killed
on
by
the
moose
regular,
all the time.
Have you gone down the rabbit hole of like the people that raise wolves in like domesticated wolves and also the big cats?
There was a
Yeah.
show one time. It's like that, something called like My Pet Can Kill Me or something like that. And there's
Yeah.
people that had all those kind of extreme animals.
Well, my father-in-law, he used to have 2 half wolves, half German shepherds, and
Ooh.
they were terrifying
I
to
bet.
behold. They were sweet as all get out, but they were. And that's again, people don't realize. I had to show my wife the other day because we were watching a show and there were wolves, and I'm like, I want to show you like what an actual wolf, the size of it. They're
Yeah.
freaking huge.
Oh
Yeah.
Terrifying.
They're
I think-
massive animals.
I think wolves are probably the scariest animal.
Well, and it's this guy just facing the camera, and a wolf comes up over his shoulder, just growling. He goes, "Actually, they growl when they're happy. You can see his tail moving,
Yeah.
like wagging. He still likes me."
Very large animal and very intimidating.
And then I don't trust the wolves are one thing. I don't trust the big cats.
No.
Like if you're dealing with lions
I
in
don't trust the
particular,
little cat. My little
Right.
cat's as bad, so I can
Right.
imagine the big ones.
Yeah.
right? Like as soon as you turn your back and you're not paying attention for that one split second,
Yeah.
it's like done.
Or literally, I'll be petting him or her, and when I go to set him down, well, he's mad and he swipes at me.
Yeah.
Right.
So imagine a big cat.
If you were to take a house cat and blow it up to the size of like just like say a mountain lion, one of the smaller big cats.
Yeah.
It's game over.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen, they'll bring me I have 2 male cats. They're outdoor / indoor. They come in, especially when it's cold. Sweet as can be, snuggle with the kids.
Sure.
But if you are a critter in the vicinity of my house, you are done for. They brought me so many just eviscerated moles and
Last
rats
night,
and
Bob brought
rabbits.
us the head of a catfish.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just the
nice.
head
That's
of a
very sweet of
catfish.
him. That was thoughtful.
Well, we're eating good. I'm guessing he's thinking we're hungry, so that's why he did. But we're used to moles and squirrels and things like that. But this was just the head of the catfish.
Yeah.
So it's a universal agreement here. We would rather fight the chicken-sized bears, the 10 of those, instead of the.
Yes.
And is it 10 on either side, or is it just one?
10.
10 on either side.
Yep.
So it's not just one bear-sized chicken. It's 10 bear-sized chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are like velociraptors.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, we all seen Jurassic Park.
Right. Clever
Yeah.
girl.
Well, even like I actually had to get over kind of a significant fear I had of chickens.
Yeah.
Really?
Because I got spurred by a rooster
That's it,
when
yeah.
I was a kid.
What does
in
that
In
mean?
China. They, you know how
jump
they
up
have
and
those. They have those.
You got to
roosters-
explain it because my imagination's like, he got spurred.
Well,
by a
no.
chicken.
Well, see, the thing is, there's very Shakespearean.
All the way in China.
But no, if you look at roosters, they have pretty much like where where dogs have that little thumb
Oh, yeah,
claw.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
have a very spiky claw, and they're very territorial. So they'll just jump up, flap, and they'll hit you with that. And it's not gonna kill you,
Right.
But
But if
it's
you put the
very
razor blades
unpleasant.
on 'em,
Now,
then they
now
fight.
picture that is several hundred pounds in the size of a grizzly bear. It's gonna go right through your gut and just.
I think it's literally it would walk over, kind of give you that stupid chicken look, and like you said, just peck in the center of your head.
And just you're done.
And that's it. Use you like a straw and walk away.
Well, I think you're already at the point if you're in the ring with a bear-sized chicken, it's like you've already made a mistake. Yeah. You know, like if you've made that choice, and just one of them, I think you've made a bad choice.
Yeah. I think there were several bad choices that led to that, but yes.
Who would y'all rather fight? Adam Schiff or Elizabeth Warren?
Schiff.
Well, you're asking me who do I want to beat up more? Elizabeth Warren.
Schiff.
Really?
Only because
I'm not advocating violence in any form or fashion. I'm just saying that emotion that like
I'm really raw from yesterday, so some shit.
Elizabeth Warren just makes me want to go like I'm never having sex again.
Yeah.
But Adam Schiff, his back and forth with Kash Patel, it's like the anger welling up within me listening to that a-hole.
They really need to reform the Senate confirmation
100%.
process because it needs to be like actual. Like I don't know how they would do it, but this kabuki theater is just.
And there's very few of them, in my humble opinion, Democrats and Republicans both, who are actually effective at the game.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, it's like you're just not that clever. You're not that smart. You don't need to be getting all worked up.
Because they've got talking points they just read when they got there.
And that's a classic of this week. It's like, I'm very upset at you because of X, Y, and let me look down at my paper for why I'm upset. It's like, you're a terrible actor.
Funnily enough, I got the Democrats in this state, our state legislature, in trouble with that because I went up in the top gallery and looked down at their desk and I saw some of their talking points and I made it a headline of one of our stories. And ever since then, that paper has been flipped over.
Wait, I'm probably going to go down to the State House to be on Jeff Ford's show this upcoming Wednesday because the session starts next week, right? And he said that he's been like demoted. Maybe things have changed since I last talked to him to like the basement or something. And he blamed you. And I said, well, that kind of makes sense.
Well, I mean, no. See, the thing is, he used to do it in Scott Stadhagen's office, who's the House Majority Leader.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Stadhagen,
I spazzed out for a second, and he has the best snacks. Ask anyone in that house. Stadhagen is loaded with snacks. He is the snack guy. So I think Jeff is just mad that he doesn't get to have access to all these snacks.
I'll just blame Craig.
Who
ate all these snacks?
As I do in every session, I was dieting last session, so I did not have any of Scott.
Yeah, but I've been there when you're dieting. I've been around you when I'm eating snacks.
Yeah.
You give a really
ugly look.
Yeah. Like I shouldn't be eating these snacks right now.
Yeah, that's the question. And whenever I would need like a coffee cup or a spoon or a coffee stir, everyone's like, "Did you take Stadhagen's office?" It's no BS. It looks like someone robbed a couple vending machines and just stocked them up in his office. But anywho, there are I will tell you, the most effective person is Kennedy in the state house. It's not the state house in Congress.
100.
John Kennedy.
Yeah, John Kennedy.
100%.
Oh, yeah. And actually, Senator Kennedy, again, stole the show yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was like this one moment. It wasn't even his time.
Yeah.
This moment is one for the history books, especially because Chuck Grassley, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, he's straight into old man, like old fart territory. Like he is, it's not looking good for Chuck.
Yeah, his wife went through menopause during the Treaty of Versailles.
But they're going strong. It's good to have a long marriage.
Yeah, I mean those meds are good stuff.
Okay.
But here's the moment we're talking about. This is in the Judiciary Committee as they're talking to Kash Patel. Or yelling at Kash Patel and all these other things. And this happened.
Mr. Chairman.
Before we go to leave.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, what do you want?
I love this guy. Mr. Chairman, I'm like Senator Tillis. I mean, if we're going to start this, I want an extra 3 minutes.
Well,
now, my friend Senator Klobuchar went 3 minutes over.
So, here what you're saying is the chairman wasn't a very good chairman by not shutting her up. But I've gone through this before, and I think I know how to handle it. And
I think you're a star-spangled awesome chairman. I just want to say that for the record. record. But if you're going to let somebody over there go 3 minutes over, I want my extra 3 minutes.
Well, let's see if it's abused by anybody else before we make that decision.
I'm just telling you, I'm going to abuse it.
I'm not going to let you.
That's so good. But why is Chuck Grassley still in charge? I know it's a seniority system, but I think
there you go.
I think they've taken way too much of that literally. Like, it is wow.
Yeah.
Great. What do you want?
I don't think anyone will ever beat Feinstein, though. As far as that,
Well,
the level of
that went from funny to sad.
I don't remember when it was ever funny because they were just wheeling essentially a corpse out there, and
Weekend
just
at Bernie's.
flopping her butt, her hand on the vote button.
Yep.
But of course, yesterday we were really laughing at this. Also, getting into that kind of old man territory is this guy.
Are you supportive of this?
Oh.
I've had nothing to do with
Are you
leadership.
supportive of these onesies?
Supportive of vaccines.
Are you supportive of this clothing, which is militantly anti-vaccine?
Now, we did learn a little something about Bernie yesterday.
Yeah.
The fact that he took that money from Big Pharma.
That was from the workers, not one from the executives.
Yeah.
I love that Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders in particular both run for president, and it's like, we're looking out for the little man, and
Please.
yada, yada, yada.
I'm really glad that he let go of Hillary Clinton's pocket long enough to have an original thought.
Oh, well, they revealed themselves to just be stooges.
Bernie is so disappointing because I love lefties that are lefties. It's like,
They're
at least
true lefties.
I know where you stand, but the way that he just got deboed by the DNC, specifically Hillary Clinton, and he was just like, "Yes, ma'am,
Oh,
I'm
100%.
sorry."
Right.
But then he got some houses.
I have 3 houses because I sold books
Sold
against
a lot of
capitalism.
Yeah.
I sold books.
I love the ironies of capitalism. It's like, I'm a communist, and I've made millions talking about being a communist. And here's the moment where RFK Jr. just calls him out right to his face. Let's listen in.
I'm going to make America healthier than other countries in the world right now.
Will you guarantee do what every other major country does? That's a simple question.
And by the way, Bernie, the problem of corruption is not just in the federal agencies, it's in Congress too. Almost all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry. And protecting their interests.
No. I thought that would go. No. I ran for president like you.
Yeah.
I got millions and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
In 2020, you were the single largest
Because I had
receiver of
small
pharmaceutical money.
contributions from workers all over this country. Workers,
You were the single-
not a nickel from corporate
Bernie, you were
PACs.
Can I just point out, like, of all the people in Congress that are really rah about their Jewishness, he is the most Jewish guy in Congress, and he never brings it up.
I know, it's very funny.
It is funny. I mean, it's just like, he's like a Mel Brooks character.
Well, I remember he was put on the spot. It might have been Colbert or something, where he asked, "Do you believe in God?" He goes, "I believe in people. I believe in people."
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the worst possible answer.
It's amazing that he never gets pressed on the Palestine issue, though, because we know where he stands on the Israel-Palestine issue because of his political affiliations, but he's also a pragmatist, so he never wants to bring it up. He pussed out with Biden whenever he had this resolution to end our funding of the war in Yemen. And he was rah for about 5 seconds. He's just such a weenie. I can't stand people that don't stand by their convictions, even if they're R-worded convictions.
Now, this next one is still RFK holding his own, and we'll get to Tulsi and a little bit of Kash Patel as well, sort of cleaning up this week of theater, which I think really did reveal not only the rotten influence of terrible corrupt interests, corporate interests like Big Pharma, but also revealed the deep state in so many different ways. Like the way these gray bearded, if they actually could grow facial hair, senators up there who, the way they're talking about Tulsi Gabbard and we're doing the Snowden angle, it was driving me up a wall.
Oh God, the Snowden stuff, I couldn't deal with it.
Driving me up a wall.
Did you see what Snowden tweeted to her before the hearings, though? He said, "You're going to be asked to denounce everything that you said about me and other whistleblowers. You have my permission to throw me under the bus."
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. That is kind of nice.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he put it out there,
He
too.
said, do what you got to do to get in there.
That's right.
And actually, there are more I've seen in the libertarian world. It's like, guys, stop it with saying everything out loud. Maybe if we want libertarians in like positions of authority, they should lie to the people in Washington in order to get those positions. That's unethical. We must always autistically be. Have you ever read Murray Rothbard, The Ethics of Liberty? That's a violation of the non-aggression principle. That fraud is wrong.
We need to have a conversation about the age of consent immediately.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Libertarians really are the worst. They can't take a W. They wouldn't know one if it stepped on their on their foot.
And I'm happy to still accept the label even after you said that, but it means so many different things to so many different people.
See, the thing is, I call myself different things based on who I'm talking to because I understand what their generalities are going to be.
Yeah.
So I want it to encompass most of me. Sometimes I'll say anarchist. Sometimes I'll say Christian nationalist. Sometimes I'll say libertarian. It doesn't matter.
I remember interviewing some folks, to your point, from ASF years ago. They were putting on Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest.
Such a good play.
And I said, well, I'll tell you what, gentlemen, the best government for an artist to live under is no government at all. And the guy's like, well, who said that? Ayn Rand? I'm like, no, Oscar Wilde, you dope. So keep reading his words and act it well and say, they actually did a good job on stage. Anyway.
When are you going to see Hamlet, by the way?
April, opening night.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping it's going to.
They don't miss. They might be liberal fruitcakes, but they don't miss when it comes to being thespians.
You're gonna get me like kicked out of the theater, man.
No, the news and opinions expressed in the show are not necessarily the opinions of the host.
That's true. That's true. Hey, so Kennedy, this one wasn't as viral, but I thought it was telling. Kennedy is questioned by Senator, I think it's also Brooks, or she's a senator from Maryland, I believe. So let's see exactly this back and forth. I think it reveals kind of where Kennedy's coming from, where more the political folks are coming from, trying to score points. Let's listen in. Or maybe this woman really believes that what Kennedy's saying is so awful.
What makes a scientist or a doctor qualified to serve at the National Institutes of Health?
A scientist who's devoted to empirical methodology, to evidence-based science, scientists who understand the importance of replication, the importance of publishing raw data and being open and transparent about it, the importance of publishing peer review. We have, NIH has overseen over the past several years the precipitous decline in American health. There's 91,000 people at HHS, and are you suggesting that some of them should not be held responsible for that decline? They were in charge of protecting our health.
Let me just insert here.
Let me just finish.
But let me just say this, because I only have 3 minutes left. I don't set the rules here, but I ask the questions. And the question is really whether you intend, as you said, to substitute essentially your judgment for the judgment of these professional scientists and doctors.
I'm not going to substitute my judgment for science. Of course, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do, listen, the New York Times just did an article last week talking about the fraud, the 20-year fraud, 800 fraudulent studies produced by NIH on amyloid plaques, and not allowing any other hypothesis about the cause of Alzheimer's.
Well, how will you decide, Mr. Kennedy, which scientists are bad scientists? Are they the ones who disagree with you?
The ones who are corrupt, the ones who have been doing science like the amyloid plaque studies that were fraudulent.
Well, these doctors, let me ask you a question. Do you have a medical degree?
Do I know?
This is the sort of thing that drives me up a wall, because whether it's Tulsi in front of the Intelligence Committee or RFK in front of these folks, it's like they speak in the lowest like resolution form of thought. And maybe it's because they're trying to give it back to the folks out home. But this idea that these are professional scientists and doctors, and then he just comes back with, well, some of those professional scientists and doctors published 800 fraudulent studies on what's causing Alzheimer's. And it's not just that. It could have been like they do 800 fraudulent studies, put it out there in the ether, and other scientists disagree or whatever. But they did that 800 fraudulent studies while maintaining that other people couldn't even suggest a different idea.
Yeah.
And that is a huge abuse of power. But again, whether it's healthcare or the intelligence agencies or any aspect of the government, the FBI, you have these folks up there going, there's no problem here. When it's like, where have you been the last several years? Are you not paying attention?
We've investigated ourselves and found that we are doing everything perfectly.
Great job.
And they hide behind credentials. They hide behind, they essentially love the idea of protected classes, and literally in law and also rhetorically when they're going back and forth in the political arena.
Well, what's so frustrating about that is because it's like this way that they say science, as if it is something other than the ability to make hypotheses, observations, and testing. That's why he talked about replication. If you cannot replicate the results of any particular study or hypothesis, then the study is flawed or the hypothesis is wrong.
Yeah.
But that's not a part. They start with their conclusion and then they shoehorn the study's parameters in order to arrive at a preconceived conclusion. It's complete silliness. And then you don't have to have a medical degree to realize that.
And then they prevent others from suggesting an alternative.
Yeah.
Like, you're a quack. You're the conspiracy theorist, as we are behaving in the most depraved, corrupt way. Who here knows somebody who's been through dementia or Alzheimer's? It's myself is included.
It's horrific.
It's horrific to watch. It's one of the most tragic things that you can imagine.
It's a great time if you have a dark sense of humor, but
no, and that's the gallows humor, sometimes the way you get through it.
Yeah.
But when you see this, it's like, okay, that's something everybody I think would like to solve. And these scientists, paid by taxpayer money, were screwing around for a decade plus, publishing false information while calling everybody else who disagreed with them a quack and limiting funding, if not completely ruining other careers that challenge them. You are bad people. You don't get to hide behind your credentials and your institutions. It's not how this works at all.
No accountability, no surprise.
Now, that said, there's another way that we go through the funhouse mirror of government. It's Alice in Wonderland. Going to Tulsi Gabbard in the intelligence community. Mark Kelly, Senator Mark Kelly, who actually is fairly respectful in the way he asks the questions, I give him that. He brings up to Tulsi Gabbard, it sounds like you're like echoing Russian and Iranian and Chinese talking points, Colonel. Let's get into this now. This is Tulsi Gabbard and, again, Senator Mark Kelly. It's kind of a view inside of how your government thinks. It literally turns normal moral rules of the road on their head.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Colonel Gabbard, when Russia was denying us use of chemical weapons, they accused the U.S. of supporting terrorists. This is a line that Putin used frequently during the Syrian civil war as he supported Assad. Syrian officials made similar comments. They did it repeatedly. They did it in public. They did it at the United Nations. In 2016, you gave an interview in which you said, and this is a quote, "The U.S. is providing direct and indirect support to terrorist groups in order to overthrow the Syrian government." And in 2019, on the Democratic presidential debate stage, you said of President Trump, this is a quote, "This current president is continuing to betray us. We were supposed to be going after al-Qaeda, but over years now, not only have we not gone after al-Qaeda, our president is supporting al-Qaeda." So I'm interested to hear, what was your goal in saying these things? And did you consider, before saying them, the motives of Iran and Russia, what their motives might have been before making these claims?
Senator, as someone who enlisted in the military specifically because of al-Qaeda's terrorist attack on 9/11 and committing myself and my life to doing what I could to defeat these terrorists, it was shocking and a betrayal to me and every person who was killed on 9/11, their families and my brothers and sisters in uniform. When, as a member of Congress, I learned about President Obama's dual programs that he had begun really to overthrow the regime of Syria. and being willing to, through the CIA's Timber Sycamore program that has now been made public, of working with and arming and equipping al-Qaeda in an effort to overthrow that regime, starting yet another regime change war in the Middle East. DoD train and equip program, again, begun under President Obama, is widely been known, looked at, and studied, that ultimately resulted in over $500 million being used to train who they called moderate rebels, but were actually fighters working with and aligned with al-Qaeda's affiliate on the ground in Syria, all to move forward with their regime change and not acknowledging what was obvious at the time and what has unfortunately borne true, which was that a regime change war in Syria, much like the regime change wars in Iraq, the toppling of Gaddafi and Mubarak, while these are all dictators, would likely result in the rise of Islamist extremists like al-Qaeda taking power. I shed no tears for the fall of the Assad regime, but today we have an Islamist extremist who is now in charge of Syria, as I said, who danced on the streets to celebrate the 9/11 attack, who ruled over Idlib with an Islamist extremist governance, and who has already begun to persecute and kill and arrest religious minorities like Christians in Syria.
I understand.
Why that should be acceptable to anyone is beyond me.
It shouldn't
is
be.
certainly
And
not in our
I understand,
interests.
and I appreciate your answer, and thank you. My concern has to do with the tendency to repeat Russian and Syrian, and even in some cases, I think we'll get into in the closed session, Iranian information, and to discount what comes from our intelligence community.
Senator, every American deserves to know that people in our own government were providing support to our sworn enemy, al-Qaeda. That should not be acceptable by anyone.
Yeah, and he's essentially saying to her, well, that might be true, but like...
He didn't even say misinformation. He said, you're quoting Iranian information. It's like, I'm sorry, is there information that's bad? He does believe that. It's like, well, that information contradicts what our CIA said.
Well, and they really believe, I guess, the William Blake line, the truth is told with bad intent beats all the lies you can't invent. So it's like, how dare you say that thing that's true? But the bad intentions, pardon me, aren't just with our adversaries. There's a lot of bad intentions in Washington. And she's right. We'll see what happens next in the Middle East. But I thought she held her own beautifully the whole day.
Oh, I think she did. Her and Kash did exceptionally well. RFK looked like he got a bit flustered a time or two, which I can't exactly blame him.
No. Yeah, because a lot of that stuff ended up being just absurd and ridiculous.
I would need to drink like a venti cup full of Xanax before doing that. Just zone out. Feel like I'm underwater.
I enjoyed Kash telling that lady you got 2 minutes.
And then she was I'm just so curious. What would happen if one of them said, "Hey, shut up, shut your face, just shut up. I'm talking." Like, what would happen? Like, what if you say, "Hey, listen, nobody cares what you think, stupid." Like, what would actually happen?
Well, when Schiff was telling Patel to turn around, just as one man telling another man to do something, dude, I have so many issues with that.
Yeah.
And for that guy to be able to just sit there and had a great comment. Why don't you ask him how they feel about me compared to you? I couldn't have sat there. That's just, and I might have lost the fight, but that's one of those times when Eddie comes across the bar, man. It's
like, it's funny you should say that. Your mother said something very similar.
Right. I think about those kind of lines when I'm sitting in the cell going, man.
What she lacks in youthfulness, she makes up for in exuberance.
272-9228. This part of the program. Can you feel it in here? The energy, the testosterone?
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you're out there and you're a guy and you don't feel that energy, you don't feel that edge, you don't feel the testosterone, like even as a young guy, or maybe you're hitting those middle-aged years, you just feel like you're a shadow of your past self. Well, Montgomery Men's Health, they're ready to help you out. So if you're tired all the day long, like if you are losing muscle mass, seeing weight gain, no libido to speak of, a lot of this can point to low testosterone.
Oh, yeah.
And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health have low T treatments They can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym.
Brother.
Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, and you usually even notice an increased libido. You're going to be in the mood.
Yeah.
So y'all call them up today. You can actually book an appointment on the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx saved you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
What'll it be, Joe?
Coffee and apple pie. Whoa, Madge, what was that?
The lights? Oh, they always dim when the dishwasher turns on.
You should call Crosby Electric.
You think?
Overloaded circuits at your business can be dangerous. The experts at Crosby Electric can upgrade your electrical service to safely handle the load. And they can add receptacles where needed to eliminate overuse of extension cords.
Madge, I'd like to pay you. The problem is it's so dark in here I can't read my bill.
No, the problem is you're cheap.
Well, that's a problem too.
Effective, attractive lighting is essential for any business. Crosby Electric can help with a new lighting scheme that will give your business a fresh, exciting look. And they can recommend outdoor lighting for greater safety and security.
That'll be $4.50 for the coffee and pie, Joe.
Well, don't I get anything for recommending Crosby Electric?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Don't put off essential electrical upgrades for your business. Call 272-2085 or visit crosbyelectric.com.
This is Jim Smith with Adams Drugs. Adams Drugs has been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for over a decade and have gone from 7 stores to 12 stores. We attribute our success for what they've done for us. Thank you, Blue Water Broadcasting.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Earnest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Earnest, 334-279-7431. Earnest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. It's a very spring-like weather situation rather than the last day of January. Today, we have a front approaching, showers likely, possible thunderstorms, winds gusting maybe as high as 30 miles per hour, with today's high around 71. Clearing tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 43. The weekend forecast hard to beat. Boy, oh boy. Sunshine, upper 60s tomorrow. Sunday's high 73 with more sun. Monday, just a great spring-like day in February. High temperature up to about 77, plenty of sun. Upper 70s a good bet Tuesday and Wednesday with a sun and cloud mix. Boy, we deserve this break in winter. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
You can make your ASE loan payment from your phone anytime, anywhere. It's quick and easy. YourASECreditUnion.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Now, after playing all those Tulsi and RFK clips, and we'll get to some Kash Patel as well, it seems like Trump, especially on the ones that seem folks don't want to play ball on the GOP side,
Yeah.
Trump is already making very overt threats to where John Cornyn came out and said he's voting for Tulsi, which is like, whoa, he got in line pretty quick. And then a guy who is no dove by any means, you know the name, Senator Tom Cotton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had this to say after all these hearings.
I believe she should be confirmed, Sean, and I believe we ultimately will confirm her. Of course, every senator has to review all the material from every nominee. I, for instance, wasn't able to watch Robert F. Kennedy's testimony today or Kash Patel's testimony because I was presiding over Tulsi Gabbard's testimony. I'll go back and review it. It sounds like they both did a pretty good job from what I heard from my fellow senators who do sit on those committees. Every senator has a responsibility to his constituents and to the nation to do their own work, though. But I do believe Ms. Gabbard should be confirmed. I'm looking forward to supporting her nomination whenever it comes up for a vote.
That's a good sign that Cotton is backing it. So you're starting to see some of these folks who might have been an issue. Now, what happens with Susan Collins and Mitch McConnell and Murkowski, those three.
Good Lord, it was tough watching her last night.
It's that sort of stuff that it drives me up a wall.
Yeah.
That you're still going to stand in the way of, like, just letting the president pick his people. Yeah. And a president who just won very strongly.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe they need to have that constant reminder that, hey, your office, your party was just voted out overwhelmingly.
And by the way, speaking of Alabama senators, I think both Tuberville and Britt are in full support of all the nominees.
Yeah,
I've not seen any
I would think so. Yeah.
I haven't seen
issue whatsoever. In fact, here's Tuberville talking to RFK Jr. short clip here.
And you brought to light the vaccines over the last couple of years. I've had my first granddaughter here in a couple of weeks, and my son and his wife have done their research about vaccines, and she's not going to be a pincushion. We're not going to allow that to happen. But you brought that up. But as you and I talked about vaccines, Coach, let's empower scientists to do their job. You know, let's go by what they do. Let's don't just do something for the pharmaceutical company. So I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, Tuberville's a strong yes on that. Katie Britt was in the Judiciary Committee, laid out a lot of praise for Kash Patel. And I thought, well, we'll give you a taste of that. This is Senator Britt's time on the Judiciary with Kash Patel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. Mr. Patel, thank you so much for being here. To your family, I know that this has to be such an incredible moment. Congratulations, and thank you for time to be a part of this with all of us. Look, I have been diligently listening over the last few hours, and what I have heard you say is this: that your duty is to protect American citizens, that you will work to uphold the Constitution. I have heard you say you're going to get back to making sure you focus on violent crime. You said, I want children to have parks to play in, not needles to walk on. You said, I'm going to let cops be cops. You said, we've got to get back to having full transparency. You said all requests will be responded to, and on all members of the Judiciary Committee, for that we say thank you. You said you were going to have the backs, as you always have, of law enforcement. You reminded us about being embedded in SEAL Team 6. You said our law enforcement officers deserve the very best. You said you know and you will not allow there to be victims of government overreach because it has happened to you. You talked about having no intention of going backwards. You have talked about making sure that we actually address drug overdoses. You talked about your work with 1.3 million active duty service members, making sure they had resources they needed. You've talked about de-weaponizing and making sure that we don't politicize the department. You said America is the greatest nation. You said you believe that because you believe in the rule of law. You have told me personally, gone will be the days of identifying a person and looking for a crime. You have said everything you do will be factual and constitutionally based. You have said there will be no targeting based on someone's faith. You have said that when these FBI agents are upholding the law, you will always have their back. You have said that there will be a singular form of justice once again. And most importantly, I think in addition to all of this, is I have really not gotten to hear you talk about the FBI. And so I would love, you mentioned in the 7 minutes that it takes one of these senators to ask you questions, that unfortunately there are, I believe you said, 3 rapes, 2 overdoses, 1 murder. Look, yesterday we signed the Laken Riley Act and the law President Trump did. And when we look at what's happening across our country with the surge of illegal migrants that have come in, when we look at fentanyl overdoses being the leading cause of death between the ages of 18 and 45, I've heard you say you want to tackle that. When we look at parents like Laken Riley's mother yesterday, as she talked about her heartbreaking loss that should have never happened, Rachel Marin's family there, Sarah Root's family there, Jocelyn Nungary's family there, they deserve an FBI that is focused on finding these criminals and getting them out of here. So my question for you is, I'd like for you to talk about that. You've talked about cleaning up America, making it safe and secure for its people. Please tell the American people your plans.
Thank you, Senator. I really appreciate it. And the 2 themes that, if I'm confirmed, that I have for the FBI are really just going back to keeping it simple. 1, let good cops be cops. 100,000 drug overdoses, 100,000 rapes, 17,000 homicides. That's only with 70% of the precincts reporting in. That is violent crime exploding out of control. We've got 38,000 employees at the FBI, and as I alluded to earlier, almost a third of them work in and around the Washington, D.C. area. Well, those crimes are committed out in the rest of America. And I'm going to let good cops be cops and put handcuffs on the bad guys and put child molesters in prison and put murderers in prison and make sure CCP fentanyl doesn't kill another one of your constituents. That's track 1. Track 2, to restore the trust in the FBI. That has degraded, not by my opinion, by the Gallup poll, that only 40% of Americans have trust and faith in the FBI. It is a cataclysmic failure in leadership to get to that point that did not happen over time. And so what the FBI must do while tackling violent crime and protecting Americans' national security and our sovereignty is work with Congress, Republicans and Democrats, to expose any government corruption, provide government accountability through transparency, and get you all the documents that you are the custodians of. The FBI reports to Congress. If I am confirmed as FBI director, I will report to Congress. And I will just save you with this one caveat here about my personal experiences with the FBI. The men and women of the FBI do the most courageous work on God's green earth. I was fortunate enough to utilize FISA 702 national security measures to prevent a shopping mall from blowing up in Houston and the state capitol from being attacked in California. Courageous men and women do that work every day, and these are cases you never hear about. Instead, the only things you hear about are the baseless conspiracy theories and attacks levied at me. Well, here's something for America. You can say whatever you want about me. If I'm confirmed, bring it on. But you will not denigrate the men and women of the FBI that saved this country.
And again, not only did the, say, Laken Riley Act pass, which Senator Britt had been working on since I think she's gotten up there and after that awful event with Laken Riley. Coach Tuberville, it just came out today. Remember how Tuberville held up like a lot of the promotions?
Oh, yeah.
Because of the policy of providing taxpayer dollars to facilitate abortion?
Yep.
Well, that was just removed today. What he was fighting against was just removed today with Pete Hegseth, the current defense secretary, saying, "Thank you for your leadership, Coach."
Good deal.
And when it comes back to the FBI, it looks like all top leadership in the FBI has been told, pack your bags.
Yes, I saw that this morning.
You're done.
Yep.
Which is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Now, I did see where there's one Republican, unless it's changed, Bill Cassidy out of Louisiana, says he is having a hard time with RFK.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure he is.
But over the vaccine thing. And I don't know.
Well, I believe he's also a doctor.
He is.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I know you're trying to sell the converted. I get it.
Let's go to Austin Barenko with Invista Advisors. Hey, Austin, how you doing this afternoon?
Man, having a great Friday, Joey, and I've got to give you thanks because a lot of it's due to you. We had a client come through our door today that had heard me on your radio show, and we were able to begin a financial plan for him and roll over his 401k. He has retired, and kind of help him make plans for his family going forward. So, like I said, I always appreciate your partnership, but these are the types of people that we look for that need our help, that we're here for. So it's been a great day so far.
That I love hearing that. That's beautiful, and I hope more of our listeners take you up on that. No matter where you are in life, folks, it could be, as Austin just described, or it could be you're a young man like you, and might be Austin and I's age. It's always a good time to sit down, think about your long-term financial future, and they're at Invista Advisors. They take all of the above approach, different sorts of specialties with everybody on the team. So it's not just things like investments and, say, stock portfolios. You're looking at that sort of every aspect of how you plan your financial future, right?
Yeah, that's right. We always lead with a plan. And we're not just asset managers. Like I said, we're planners, but we're also consultants. We have a part of our business that handles buying and selling businesses. So if you're a small business owner, think of us. We do manage endowments and association funds. So if you're a non-for-profit and you need some guidance on your investment policy statements, or how to manage a large donation from a donor, that's also something we specialize in. And so, yeah, we have a wide variety of specialties, but if it's in the realm of finance and you don't know, what you're doing, or you need some help or guidance, there's a pretty good chance we can point you in the right direction if we can't help you ourselves.
And folks, you just need to call Invista Advisors at 387-0094. Again, that's 387-0094. And when you call up, be sure to say, hey, I heard Austin Barenko there on the radio with Joey Clark. I really want to have a conversation with y'all. And I really appreciate it. I know it's been a busy week in many ways, Austin, and so I hope you have a good weekend, man.
Yeah, thanks, Joey. Talk to you later.
Again, folks, that's Austin Barenko with Invista Advisors. And it has been a busy week. I have to say, I know I'm jumping around, but it's like this is breaking and that is breaking and this other thing's come up. And, we have the legislative session coming up next week here in Alabama.
It's only January, Joey.
And then, the mayor giving the state of the city and the whole, I guess they're supposed to be meeting about that old Jackson Hospital thing today, the city council.
Today, the ransom letter due date?
Yeah, man.
Bring bags of cash or we will close down your hospital.
And then, of course, there is the Museum of Fine Arts. And I don't know what to make of that, because have we actually gotten, who put the thing out there?
No, and of course, the more you try, they'll be like, "Well, we don't want to, we don't want to subject us."
I found it strange for the mayor to say, "I took it down." I'm like, "Wait, are you in charge of the?"
Well, he said I suggested that they be taken down, but they are a department of the city of Montgomery, which I didn't know until I was engaging in this story.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the actual governance structure is of the whole thing.
Well, I mean, no entity like that. Not every single move has to be approved by a board, but it seems like that kind of a move.
Yeah, right. Wait, so somebody in marketing pushes this thing out, and it's and then the mayor takes credit for taking it down.
Well,
what the heck was it one of the mayor's people?
I don't know, but this is what's so great is, this is why you have a public relations and media person to answer these questions. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but if I don't have one,
they do have one. I called her.
Oh,
answer your phone. Sorry.
That's going to work.
She
hasn't picked up all week, but he yelled, answer the phone on radio, and she picked up.
Have you tried flowers and snacks?
You should hear the voicemail I left. It was pretty much identical to that. Answer your phone, lady.
Oh, my God.
Dear Slim, I wrote, but you still ain't calling. Truly yours, not your biggest fan.
No, because I know I love Blunt Cultural Park over there. And I would want to see
place.
Whether it's a festival or the museum succeed. It's
Bright
great that it's free.
It is. So this is the same thing to everyone. This is when you have conversations about public school teachers, or if you have conversations about this organization or that. It's just just stop with the stupidity.
Right.
Just stop with this dumb woke crap. We know what you were trying to do. And the SPLC came out today and was like, we applaud taking it down. They said it was like a disrespect to John Lewis's memory or legacy or the
But
civil
do you
rights.
think somebody was trying to pull a Streisand effect? Like create some controversy and then, now we have everybody talking about it and they'll come to our thing?
Well, if your funding gets cut, that might
Yeah.
shoot yourself in the foot there.
But they might not have thought that far in advance.
Possibly,
Dumb people
but
do
they
dumb
knew.
things.
But they knew that they were doing, and it's
Oh,
just,
there's
it's
no
just
doubt about that.
embarrassing. It's just embarrassing, really. The election of Donald Trump is the equivalent to Jim Crow South. Really, you imbeciles.
I know.
But wasn't there a billboard a few years ago when Trump lost the election from the mayor about taking out the trash? You not remember that?
I remember it.
So it only goes one way?
What do you think we're Stephen Reed fans over here, homie? Like, no, he's
No, I'm saying just the opposite.
Yeah.
Just the opposite. I've seen that they can dish it out, but they can't take it.
Yeah.
And I've got a great friend that lost his career because of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's even like whenever I gave him a little bit of Hades for all the pride flags that they put up while the American flag was not put up. They almost tried to pull like a guilt trip on me to be like, well, the guy that was supposed to do it, he's probably going to get written up. And I was just like, are you really trying to put that on me?
Wait a minute. The guy that's supposed to do it didn't do his job,
Yeah.
and now there's corrective action? Consequences?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anywho, yeah.
we got to
We
hit
could
the
do this all
hour
day.
break. Yeah, we could. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center. This is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Investigators have recorded recorders from the plane that collided Wednesday with an Army helicopter as it was landing at Ronald Reagan National Airport next to Washington, D.C. The helicopter recorder not recovered yet. All 67 people aboard the two aircraft were killed. An inflation gauge closely watched by the Federal Reserve rose slightly last month, the latest sign that some consumer prices remain stubbornly elevated, even as inflation is cooling. That report from the Commerce Department showed that consumer prices rose 2.6% in December from a year earlier. That's up from a 2.4% annual pace in November, and the third straight increase. Stocks are now mixed. The Dow dropping 71 points, the NASDAQ Composite up 199. This is SRN News.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote.
Call 800-498-2843. 800-498-2843. 800-498-2843.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Well, hi, everybody. It's a very spring-like weather situation rather than the last day of January. Today, we have a front approaching, showers likely, possible thunderstorms, winds gusting maybe as high as 30 miles per hour, with today's high around 71. Clearing tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 43. The weekend forecast hard to beat. Boy, oh boy. Sunshine, upper 60s tomorrow. Sunday's high 73 with more sun. Monday, just a great spring-like day in February. High temperature up to about 77, plenty of sun. Upper 70s a good bet Tuesday and Wednesday with a sun and cloud mix. Boy, we deserve this break in winter. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Global beverage company Diageo has announced plans to bring a $400 million beverage distribution plant to Montgomery. The facility would be located at the Hope Hole exit off I-65 and create more than 100 jobs. Diageo carries global brands of spirits and beer, including Crown Royal and Guinness. Diageo Montgomery is expected to be fully operational in the second half of 2025. A rally in support of Jackson Hospital's financial restructuring was held on Thursday. The hospital missed a bond interest payment last September and announced leadership changes in November. Members of the Montgomery City Council are scheduled to vote today on financial support for the hospital. The City of Prattville's annual Mardi Gras celebration happens tomorrow on February 1st. A day of food, fun, and festivities in historic downtown Prattville begins at 11 a.m. and the Mardi Gras parade rolls out at 2. Catch all the beads and excitement Saturday in downtown Prattville. Let the good times roll. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bell's cleaning service get your home in order. Families in the River region trust Southern Bell's because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bells today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bells Cleaning River Region.
It's Johnny from Sinclair's on Bond Road. We've been in business almost 30 years.
Sinclair's East. Bonnet Taylor.
I think if you hadn't tried us, you should give us a try. We've got a great menu, offered anything from chicken fingers, wings, salads, fajitas. At lunchtime, we do great country lunch with different vegetables and different meats every day.
Sinclair's, where you get great sandwiches and our daily meat at 3 special at lunch, to great pasta, chicken, steaks, and seafood for dinner.
Our most popular items are, we got a soup called she crab soup, which is extremely popular. We've got a bunch of pasta dishes, which people love. Mediterranean chicken is my favorite.
Sinclair's.
We do live music, light stuff on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then on Fridays and Saturdays, maybe 3-piece bands or 4-piece bands.
Come see why Sinclair's has seen lesser restaurants come and go over the years. Johnny Sullivan Sinclair's, at the corner of Vaughn and Taylor. Find them on Facebook at Sinclair's East. Google search Sinclair's Restaurant. Sinclair's.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. So where to move next? Well, I kind of want to double down on how Kash Patel handled himself.
Ooh, okay.
Because I thought he earned himself a lot of credit. I already liked the guy a lot.
I agree. But after yesterday, I've got a little bit more respect for him.
So I have to do a little bit more Kash Patel here. This is, I believe, Kash with Amy Klobuchar going back and forth.
All right.
Let's listen in.
Be shut down.
Mr. Chair.
I deserve an answer to that question. He is asking to be head of the FBI, and he said that their headquarters should be shut down.
Preliminary inquiry.
If he had listened to Senator Britt, actually, she got in there. And Redstone's so wonderful, Cassius. We know about Redstone Arsenal. Thank you, Senator. They are really, they know what they're doing. Space Command, let's get the FBI headquarters.
That's right. Selling it just a little bit.
That's what he's talking about. And my grandfather, I love watching this stuff with him.
Yeah.
Because he said, wait, a third of FBI employees work in D.C.?
Right. Did you know that? I had
It's
no
insane.
idea.
I didn't know that.
Right.
It's because it's top heavy.
So that just tells me, imagine you have a workforce and 1/3 of it is
Now,
in
and I'm
one
sure
area.
some of that is like smart, forensics
I get it.
people and
But
labs but
not all of them.
Not all of them. No, not by any means. And then another comment, again, it's my grandfather just reacting to stuff because he's 88 and he's raised kids. He's seen a lot of life. And when they said the vaccine schedule now is something like 72 shots,
Yeah, can you believe that,
he
man?
went 72.
I didn't know it was that many either.
That's insane.
But one of them, and I think Kennedy called it out, was the whole hepatitis.
Oh, at Rand Paul.
You got to have that on day one.
Yeah.
And it's not something you're susceptible to for quite some time.
And Bill Cassidy's like, well, what if we don't know the hepatitis status
Right.
of the mother? I'm like, can't you test before you deliver a baby?
They used to, Joey.
Yeah, it's stuff like that where you're like, man, and if you don't have kids and you've not been involved in having to actually deal with the early aspects of childhood, you don't know stuff like this.
No.
And it makes me feel for the parents. Anyway, I want answers. This guy wants to be the head of the FBI, and he's going to shut down their headquarters. Yeah.
I want to say, Mr. Patel, before I go on to Senator Lee.
Simply this.
Old man.
The best
Grassley.
attacks on me are going to be false accusations and grotesque mischaracterizations. The only thing this body is doing is defeating the credibility of the men and women at the FBI. I stood with them here in this country. In every theater of war we have, I was on the ground in service of this nation. And any accusations leveled against me that I would somehow put political bias before the Constitution are grotesquely unfair. And I will have you reminded that I have been endorsed by over 300,000 law enforcement officers to become the next director of the FBI. Let's ask them.
Mr. Chairman, I am quoting his own words from September of 2024. It is his own words. It is not some conspiracy. It is what Mr. Patel actually said himself. Be shut down.
I don't understand the argument.
Yeah, I don't either.
We all heard it too. If
No, if you shut down the headquarters, how could the FBI? Maybe you relocate it to
no
Redstone. Maybe you restructure it.
Restructuring.
Maybe you don't need thousands and thousands of agents in D.C.
Yep.
Maybe that's part of the problem here.
Yeah, think.
Goodness gracious. I don't know if I'm ready for the Adam Schiff, that portion, too. 'cause
Dude,
that really does
that
get
really
me
had me going.
fighting mad. Man. And I guess it's amazing. Like, Adam Schiff was the guy pushing and pushing and pushing the Russiagate crap. Kash Patel is the guy who essentially figured out what they were doing.
Yep.
And he has oh, man, I don't know. I'm not ready for it. Let's just go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Jim.
Hey, Jim.
I'll tell you what, these Karens in the Democrat Senate, I mean, they're just, and to hear Bernie sit there going, I never took I didn't get any money. I got money from these poor, these people, regular old people. What a lying dog. He's a multi-millionaire. And how did he get all that money? From his books? I don't think so. They just sit there and it's ridiculous. They got to be embarrassed. I wonder if they go home and look at a rerun of that and see what fools they made of themselves on TV.
I think they go home and pull a Scrooge McDuck. They open up the big vault and they dive into all their gold.
And by gold,
Yeah.
he means Jack Daniels whiskey.
Yeah. I got
Or
something
worse.
off this subject, but I wanted to ask y'all's thoughts on it. On the collision. I've watched that now, and now they've got the new angle out. I'm sorry, but that helicopter headed straight for that plane.
It's what it looks
I
like.
mean, what
Yeah.
do you think about? I mean, it looks like they
That's what it
just
looks like.
went straight into it.
And there's a lot that came out this morning, a lot of details. It looks like the pilot did not fly the approved path, was a half mile off course, 100 feet too high. The air traffic controller was short a person, but they, even being short, saw it coming, tried to warn them, right?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of problems to be looked into on this. And of course, everybody jumps the gun and it's like, well, Trump froze hiring. And it's like, no, not with the FAA. Gosh,
Yeah.
oh
Well, not only that,
I don't understand.
I saw
They
reports.
interviewed the guy from the transportation guy. He said it could take a year to get the Why is it going to take a year?
Right.
Well, according to reports, they've had
figure that
problems.
out.
They've had problems the last couple of days with that exact.
Well,
same
and this is
event
the
happening.
and people initially use this as an inciting event to say, "Oh, Doge and all this idea is real bad." No, this. We should double down on Doge
Right.
after this because we're spending how many trillions of dollars and you don't have enough air traffic controllers. And by the way, this wasn't, it came out today as well, the only incident. There had been multiple incidents in the last week.
Yeah, several times.
Like, it almost
Exact
happened
same
the day
exact
before.
Same thing. But then did you see the hiring videos? They were willing to hire blind air traffic controllers.
What?
Yes. Do you have seizures? We're looking for you in the FAA. Oh, there's a whole video out there.
Yeah, they wanted like 4% of their employees to be ones with extreme disabilities.
Right.
Did you see?
Is this a
Did you
parody?
see the
No.
stuff- Joey, did you see the stuff on X about the one pilot who's a transgender? Did you see that?
Oh, yeah,
that's
it's not true.
Yeah, that was kind of
Is that not true?
Yeah, it's not true.
Yeah, that looked too.
perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it was all. Yeah, I didn't think it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of painted as this thing of like some rebellious transgender pilot who
Yeah.
decided to go out all the way
Now,
off.
who do you think? What type of person puts that kind of stuff out? What is their goal?
Sometimes it
Is
is
that-
literal disinformation to get people talking about it. Let's discredit the people talking about it, thinking it's true. And
Probably a Democrat.
Yeah.
Trying to stir up all this stuff. Yeah. But it just, man, that new angle, golly, it was like there was no way. That'd be like you going 150 miles an hour down I-85, and the guy comes down the ramp at Perry Hill right in front of you. There's no way you're going to stop. That's it. Man.
yeah, no, it's horrifying. I haven't been talking about it today because it's like you want to do that. There's now many write-ups, and it's not like I have expertise in this field. But to your point, it does look like you could have avoided this, especially that new angle that just came out.
Yeah. And what's the most heartbreaking thing is that photo I saw of the kids, of the young
Oh, my
skaters.
God.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Woo.
Yeah. It's awful. Well, I appreciate the call,
It's
Joe.
terrible. All right, man. Y'all have a good weekend.
You too, Jim. See you, bro.
272-9228.
I haven't checked Michael Malice's Twitter because I'd be too tempted to retweet what he
Yeah.
inevitably says. Because I promise you there's going to be a Kobe Bryant joke soon.
Yep. You're not David Lynch, Michael Malice, all
Yeah,
right?
you're not.
Actually, he's very influenced by him.
I can tell.
Yeah, just a little
Very
bit.
macabre.
Yeah, with the mundane and everyday juxtaposed right next to one another. Anyway, 272-9228. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is East of the Rockies.
Hey, East.
I have
How
an
you guys
yeast
doing?
infection.
Oh, that's disgusting.
He's been working on that all week.
I've been waiting for
Well,
you to call for a long
I
time.
promise you the rash won't last for long. Look, here's my question, guys. Why has Ocasio-Cortez got $23 million? What does she do to earn that, being in Congress?
I think there is an OnlyFans account that features only her piggies. That is my suspicion.
Well, I don't think she's literally a thought, like an online hooker. I think she's more prostituting herself in other ways that encompass that word.
Yeah, but those don't get her quite as much money as the AOC feet.
I don't know. What is it? The stock market again? Is it one of these things? It's like she followed the Pelosi stock tracker and
Probably. I really been wanting to get my money in that that app that invests exactly how they do.
Yeah, and I go back and forth on AOC. Where is she just a creature again, like a corporate creature of the Democratic Party? Whatever Nancy Pelosi did got her to shut up for a while. Or does she really believe the stuff she's saying? And I go back and forth on it because I just saw an interview with Matt Gaetz saying, no, I think AOC believes a lot of this stuff. Ilhan Omar believes a lot of this stuff, and I can work with people that actually believe it. But when it comes to a lot of the Republicans and Democrats up there, a lot of them just don't believe this stuff. They're just operators.
Yeah, and that is the frustration that I just personally in dealing with Republicans and Democrats. It's a reason why I get along with Democrats in the state far better than I get along with the Republicans, because at least I know where you stand. Don't claim to be like me and then or to have my same ideas or ideals and then just be like, well, this person cut me a check, so I'm not going to do that anymore.
Oh, girl, baby girl. Oh, really? Don't even play.
Don't even play. You brought this up, and we got down on this thing.
Yeah. And you said you did say her full name and with the proper affectation. It's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You have to say it with that sort of.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like something you'd say during a hijacking in 1970. But I really do have some misgivings about these guys, like Bernie Sanders, for instance. Here's a guy that's an avowed socialist, and he's a multimillionaire. I guess his DACA in Vermont is how many does he have? Places to live?
Three, I believe.
Yep.
I sold a lot of books.
Yeah. That's right, man. I could see him with the furry hat and everything. So, well, listen, guys, I always enjoy your Friday show. I just wanted to jump in, and we got to find out what Cortez is doing to make money. She could be selling Shackley or something up in Washington. I don't know, but
more enslaving
it would be
Aztecs.
something worth knowing. Yeah. Have a great weekend.
See.
Sometimes Craig says stuff that you made me laugh. Is that Nietzsche on your shirt?
No, that's Chesterton.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm only seeing it through the camera here.
No, I actually
they favor one another.
They do. And funnily enough, I wanted to get a Richard Wagner shirt that was very much like this one, but I'm like, man, people are going to have no idea who that is.
Right.
And obviously Wagner has a little bit of baggage, especially in today's current climate.
Yeah, he earned it.
Yeah, a little bit. But to me, I always give people a pass if they write anti-Jewish stuff before the Holocaust, simply because it's like, well, we didn't know it was going to go.
And it's
a bit different.
something people don't realize, like how pervasive that was in Europe. Like when you get into the history of the pogroms and it's just the Nazis took it to it.
They really put their they really put their mark on anti-Semitism. That's why it's like, despite all of the actual Jewish oppression that went beforehand, they're still the gold standard.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. Anyway.
But no, this is G.K. Chesterton. He's a papist, so that should make you feel good.
Sure, it makes me feel wonderful. East Call reminded me, let's do a little palate cleanser, especially because somebody brought up the Holocaust.
We all have a place.
No, we're not. We've already expunged our guilt from our privilege last week.
If you're feeling over guilty, you need to put that
this
out
is
there.
this is a palate cleanser featuring Norm Macdonald on Jerry Seinfeld's show. But talking about prostituting yourself in D.C. and stuff made me think of this clip. Let's listen in together.
And it was the first Kojak. You remember Kojak? Telly Savalas. With the lollipop. Yeah, he had the lollipop going. So for the pilot, it was Crocker's first day. Kevin Dobson played Crocker. Sure, Crocker. So he was just out of police academy. Green. They kept saying how green he was. Kojak had been around a long time. He knew everything. So he's, has this green kid, and he doesn't know if he wants to be working with him. So what was happening was prostitutes were being murdered. Oh, my. He goes, go down and try to get some information from the prostitute's mother. So a little while later, Crocker comes back. I talked to her mother. She wasn't a prostitute at all. She was a good girl. So Kojak's seen it all, right? So he takes this lollipop. He goes, yep, she was a good girl. Mama's apple pie. The 4th of July. She was a hooker! Crocker was too green to see it,
And I feel like that's the congressional hearings. Folks are like, oh, no, these are good scientists at HHS. Oh, these are good people, agents in the intelligence community, the FBI. She was a hooker. You're too green about this. My goodness gracious.
My favorite thing is how he's laughing before the punchline comes, because he just knows it's going to be great.
Let's go to line 4. You're on there. Who's this?
Hi, this is Mo.
Who?
Mizzou Mole?
Mizzou Mole?
That's right.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. You have people who were wondering why the NTSB would take so long.
Yeah.
They have no clue as to how thorough those people are and the painstaking effort they will take to put that whole airplane and that helicopter back together and figure out what in the hell was going on. That could, they're going to issue a preliminary report in 30 days, apparently, but I wouldn't expect anything for at least a year, maybe 3.
Well, you sound pretty knowledgeable on this stuff, so just speculating, what do you think happened?
I think airplanes collided.
But why?
There are so many reasons, and there's probably more than one.
Okay. That's fair, yeah.
You've already heard about shorthanded air traffic controllers. You've heard about, people maybe being off course. You've heard about, you haven't heard about if an airplane's descending, you don't see what's below you. If a helicopter's rising, you don't see what's above you. It could be any number of things. So who knows?
No, and that's the thing. Everybody rushes to who's to blame, but it's often a multivariate combination that creates a perfect storm. And and it sounds like there are potentially multiple incidents that could have happened in the whole week leading up to this. And it's
in final analysis, the answer is inevitably going to be pilot error.
Right.
Because 9 times out of 10, that's what they'll say.
Well, I appreciate the insights. I really do. Thank you, sir. 272-9228. Yeah, you never know who's listening.
Yeah.
It's like somebody's actually kind of.
Is he from Mizzou though?
Missouri?
Yeah,
I guess so. I mean, maybe he's from Missouri and he's a mole here in Alabama.
That's what he means. So that's what the Mizzou mole means. I thought it sounded like a bizarre alcoholic beverage, like some cocktail that nobody's ever heard of.
Like a Russian mule?
Yeah, or it's called the
But,
Moscow mule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Russian mule.
Yeah.
What kind of alcoholic are you, bro?
What? I thought it was a white mule.
White Russian.
I love you. And your head.
272-9228. Don't start. I already get enough from this guy over here.
I even saw a comment where I was even here one day. Somebody commented on your hat and your sweater, your blouse matching very well.
No, you put that comment up there. You're supposed to be working on something. You're supposed to be closing deals.
I was literally in someone's house, and we had a few minutes to kill, and she wanted to know what I did besides sell real estate. So, pop that on. Well, yeah, that's my partner there with his matching hat and blouse. Yeah, he's a good guy.
It was a sweatshirt.
You look like you whittle shillelaghs in your spare time.
Whittle shillelaghs.
I don't know what a shillelagh is, but I love that.
You would know it's those Irish like walking sticks that are also used for like bludgeons and clubs.
Somebody could call it that.
Irish picking.
Oh, that's Joey Clark. I can't do an Irish accent.
I'm sorry, Ma. I was just whittling my shillelagh. Is that why your kilt's always so crunchy, Joseph?
I think we're going to have to get a brand new one. That's not going to wash out.
Your kilt looks like a Jackson Pollock, Joseph. Stop it.
Extra starch.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And they're at Pest Pro. Ashley and that fantastic team are ready to help you with any and all of your pest control needs. And, I love having Pest Pro as a sponsor because it's a great local company. I mean, we have so many great small businesses that are sponsors, but it's great having a company right there, Main Street in Millbrook. And when you spend your money with them, it stays in the local community. And they do great work. It could be any sort of pest problem you might have. Could be an emergency that pops up. Or, Eddie and I have been suggesting, go ahead and get ahead of the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Before you know it's going to be termite season.
It's coming right around the corner.
Especially all the moisture and all this stuff, and especially you haven't had the property inspected in quite some time.
When's the last time you've been in your crawl space?
Never.
Right. Hire someone like Pest Pro to go in there for you.
You actually had that, where you were going to do it because I'm a man, and then you're like, nope.
Nope, Joey. And a lot of the guys there will tell you the things they find under crawl spaces, and it keeps you and me out of there.
Like dead cats?
Yeah. Or sometimes live cats.
Or snakes?
Snakes.
So I spent so much time in crawl spaces. I've never seen a snake under there. I think it's too cold for them in the crawl
Snake
spaces.
skins is what I usually see.
Oh,
I'm usually deep in there, and you don't have room to do the heebie-jeebies and try to get out.
See, you don't want to have to deal with
Yeah.
this. Look at how these two men have been touched by malevolence. They can't
want
run. Anyway, go with Pest Pro Services. Prevent any big problems from happening, especially because you don't want to wake up to a termite swarm or a bunch of cockroaches or mice. Ugh, that's no fun. So that number for Pest Pro Services, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and the team that Joey, Eddie, and Craig, those guys on the radio, sent you. So I don't even know where to go next. It's Friday, and I'm already kind of heading into the weekend. We are getting some comments rolling in, and I do love that, like, there are some people doing copy pasta. Like, and sometimes these are so, like, and it can happen left-wing, right-wing, Republican, Democrat talking points. But when you see them all put together, you just see how absurd they are. Somebody named T says, we need an anti-vaxxer who was addicted to heroin for 14 years to make important healthcare decisions for children. No medicine or vaccines, just horse deworming paste and fish tank cleaner. See, I can't tell if that's like a parody account.
That's the thing. It's like the parody is almost less extreme than the act. Because I mean, there are so many people that is the extent of their ability to think. It's like Jim Acosta said thing, I repeat thing true. You should listen, true thing, insurrection.
Well, we have more from Simple Jack. I voted for a felon who is still out on bail for $200K. And the man I voted for was found liable for sexual abuse and business fraud. I supported the same candidate as the J6 rioters.
By the way, when you put the dollar sign in front of the 200,000, you don't need to spell out dollars right after it.
Just to make sure everybody understands.
Yeah. $2,000 dollars.
Now, I think a horse.
I'm a
kicked that person
Jack
in
ass
the
ass.
head. Yeah, like I think that person got kicked in the head.
Yeah,
when they were young.
Not hard enough. Unless you're a troll account, in which case, brilliant.
No, it really
is.
Yeah, I really do. I want to think it's like that is a brilliant.
Yeah, you're the Stanley Kubrick of troll accounts, if that's the case.
Well, and okay, now that reminds me of the Democrats at this point. They had on stage every DNC chair, and I think this is Jonathan Capehart doing a whole DNC chair forum. And they're asked, well, I'll just play the clip. And they all raise their hands. So it's like, it's a big panel, these folks. What? You're looking at 8 of them answering questions. They're all chairs of Democratic functions all over the country. And they're asked about, what happened in 2024. Let's listen
in this round. So I'm going to, I have a show of hands.
Show of hands.
How many of you believe that racism and misogyny played a role in Vice President Harris's defeat? Okay. So that's good. You all passed.
And it's that smug moral self-assurance.
Oh, keep doing it. Keep doing it. You
Yeah,
didn't
keep
learn.
doing it.
Keep
That's
going.
exactly right.
Right, because a lot of folks are over it, guys.
Keep doing it. Double down.
It literally means nothing. Like all of your stuff. Insurrectionist, racist, rapist, convicted felon. People still voted for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
They don't care. And you're just going to keep with the same old playbook. Keep, go
That's
for
what I
it.
say. Keep
See
doing
how
it.
it works. See how it
Double
works
down.
for you.
Yeah, no, they should keep calling us all those names.
Of course.
Right. I think, well, and I love that the way you can play it apart. Well, how much of a part? Really, what percentage of the racism and misogyny kept Harris from winning? Or was it other things like, not being able to go on podcasts and actually talk like a normal person? But of course, they're already complaining about that this week. Did you see the excerpt, I think, from Jonathan Allen's book? It was put out on NBC News. Oh, I have to...
Why she lost?
I got to read this, I think.
Because she's drunk and R-worded.
Yeah, this is from
Simple.
the excerpt from the forthcoming book, Fight, and Fights in all caps, Inside the Wildest Battle for the White House by Jonathan Allen and Amy Parnes.
Who's going to read this book?
I know. I guess this is the most it's ever going to be read.
Yep.
Vice President Kamala Harris wasn't performing well in softball interviews as her sugar high faded in September and early October. But if she wanted to expand her support, and she needed to, she would have to expose herself to tough questioning. That was particularly important with men, specifically young men, who were not buying what she was selling. The obvious answer? Joe Rogan. A late 1990s sitcom star turned bro with a brain podcaster, Rogan boasted a subscriber base that amounted to a total eclipse of the heart. No, a total eclipse of the genres universe, with nearly 15 million signed up just on Spotify. His 2018 interview with Elon Musk, during which the Tesla and SpaceX founder smoked pot and sipped whiskey, garnered tens of millions of views on YouTube and crashed the next generation car company stock. I love that that's the highlight they pull from Rogan, by the way. The vast majority of Rogan's guests and listeners were white men, presenting Harris with a potentially golden opportunity to prove her mettle by walking into the lion's den. On October 11th, Harris deputy campaign manager Rob Flaherty, Flaherty's over there whittling his shillelagh again. The aide in charge of digital strategy made the first Zoom call to start negotiating with Rogan's reps. He did not know what to expect. These might be juiced up UFC-looking supplement people, he thought. Did he really think that?
I'm sorry. Is that a quote?
No, it's italicized, and I bet, this is on background. They probably talked to this Flaherty guy, and that's what he thought.
Sound like more of a fruit. Like, honestly, he could have...
Low T, baby. Low T.
Yeah, call Montgomery Men's Health, for God's sakes, man. Get some help. You need some help.
He was surprised, perhaps a tad disappointed to find out that Rogan's associates were more like Hollywood agents. In that vein, they outlined the podcaster's conditions for an interview. No staff in the studio, no topic restrictions, and Harris would have to sign a waiver. There was one more item in the small print. Harris would have to come to Austin, Texas. Oh, no, like everybody else that goes on Rogan's podcast. Rogan's rep said that might be negotiable, but he had only done one interview with an out-of-studio guest. That was Edward Snowden, who was wanted in the United States at the time.
That's actually not true. He did a Louis, gosh, I can't remember his name. He's since gone on, but he was the owner of Westside Barbell. He actually did it on site in his gym, but that was like ages ago.
Along with
Louis Simmons, I'm sorry.
Okay. Along with fellow Harris campaign advisor Stephanie Cutter. You remember that woman? She was right there with the whole war on women thing when they were pushing that.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian Fallon. Flaherty offered up that Harris would be happy to talk about social media censorship, weed, and other issues that they thought would be of most interest to his listeners. From their perspective, it was a suggestion of possible suggestion of possible topics, not an exhaustive or exclusive list. That's not what Rogan wanted to talk about. Joe wants to talk about the economy, the border, and abortion, one of his reps said, according to a person familiar with the negotiations. After 2 Zoom sessions, Flaherty called the Rogan intermediaries with an offer. Could Rogan join Harris in Michigan? He asked, proposing a date later in the week. No go. The Rogan team said that after reaching the host on a weekend-long hunting trip, Austin or nothing. That's going to be tough, Flaherty said. We are only a few weeks out from the election. Harris had less than zero reason to be in Texas. It was not a swing state. Her campaign was flush with cash, so it made no sense to take her off the trail to raise money. She was in battleground or bust mode. Plus, I guess it's bust.
Busted it was.
Plus, a detour to Texas might smell like desperation to the press and a waste of money to donors. Harris campaign chief Jennifer O'Malley Dillon, man, all these people like fit our thing earlier.
O'Malley.
Broke the impasse. Harris would be in Atlanta on October 24th with Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen. O'Malley Dillon said the campaign could fly her to Houston for a rally under the cover of visiting a state with one of the nation's most restrictive abortion laws to put her in proximity to Austin. She dispatched an advance team to the Texas state capitol to do a walkthrough of Rogan's studio and get ready for a Harris arrival. She authorized her negotiating team to give Rogan what he demanded, an in-studio interview in Austin on October 25th. For all of former President Donald Trump's work to reach apolitical voters through podcasts, YouTube, and other outlets, Harris positioned herself to score a coup by grabbing the biggest megaphone of them all. If she did, she would be exploiting a rift between Rogan and Trump. Rogan had called Trump a man baby and a threat to democracy in 2022, vowing not to interview the former president. At the time, the beef was just one more sign of the social stigma attached to Trump after the January 6th assault on the Capitol. But when Rogan appeared to endorse independent presidential candidate Bobby Kennedy in August, Trump fired back on Truth's social media platforms. It will be interesting to see how loudly Joe Rogan gets booed the next time he enters the UFC ring. MAGA 2024. At the same time, Rogan was hardly Mr. Popular inside Harris's campaign. Her brother-in-law, Tony West, longtime advisor Minion Moore, and others argued against putting Harris on the podcast, especially after her first venture into politically tough terrain. An interview with Fox's Brett Baer in the middle of the Rogan negotiations bombed.
Big time.
There was no telling what Rogan might ask her or how he would treat her. Plus, his quote-unquote anti-woke crusade had made him a pariah on the hard left. They were overruled by O'Malley Dillon's crew, but not because the concerns were considered invalid. Even for those of us who were in favor of it, it was a close call, said one of the Harris advisors involved in the back and forth. So they immediately are like, okay, we're going to work this out. I'm skipping ahead. Her aides scheduled a rally for a Friday night in the fall, October 25th, in Texas. It was as if no one on her team knew that the night reserved for high school football was more sacred than Easter in the state. Campaign advisor David Plouffe responded to the criticism publicly, explaining that Harris wanted to shine a spotlight on a place where she believed Trump's anti-abortion policies had done the most damage to women's health. Only a few people knew the real reason. The whole Houston rally was built to put her in proximity to Rogan. The ongoing negotiations on that were touch and go. Flaherty had called his Rogan contacts on October 18th before the rally was set. We could do Friday the 25th, Flaherty said. Wish we had known about that sooner because he has the 25th blocked out as a personal day, one of Rogan's reps said. What about Saturday morning, Flaherty countered. Only if it's before 8:30 a.m., came the tough reply. The tone is different, Flaherty thought. The vice president of the United States is offering to come to your effing show, and you keep putting up more hoops. Harris's team still wanted to make it work, but a new wariness set in. On October 22nd, the same day the Harris camp announced the rally, the AP reported that Trump would be Rogan's guest on Friday, the quote-unquote personal day Rogan had originally reserved. Too late, suckers. I already got the date. And by the way, they're like, well, we're going to have Beyonce, at least at this, to perform. Oh. They thought she was going to perform the campaign. And she didn't.
They thought up until that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I love how they said, oh, that was the alleged personal day. They said it in that tone, like accusatory. It's like, do you think maybe he was being a little bit, he was keeping the schedule of a guy who just got shot in the head? He's keeping his schedule a little close to the vest?
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially the rival campaign.
Yeah, exactly. You think maybe he was doing that instead of being like, oh, see, he lied about it being a personal day. Shut up.
Harris aides made a final stab, offering to let Rogan talk with the vice president in D.C. the day after a closing argument speech at the foot of the White House. Rogan's team balked, citing the Austin-only condition. Flaherty had seen enough. You get one trip to Texas within 3 weeks of the election, he told Rogan's associates. You don't get two.
How'd that work out for you, homie?
It's just amazing. When you see that sort of just little take, and I'm sure that's even massaged some, so it's palatable. Wow, what a mess. What an absolute dumpster fire that campaign was.
I love how it's like the posthumous sour grapes. It's like, listen, we all know why you
But
did
it's all because of these racists and misogynists that,
the ones that she couldn't talk to?
Right.
Yeah. And you know, here's the problem with what the left has done over the years. There is a a completely predictable resurgence of legitimate racism now it is impossible to criticize because the words that we've used to attach to these concepts have become meaningless because they've abused them.
We cried wolf too much.
Well, and also I think it was kind of the goal of the woke. You get people much more focused on their identity instead of the content of character conversations, instead of the sort of colorblind or let's appeal to we're all children of God, made in the image and likeness of God, and thus should be able to overcome things like these other differences. Instead, no, let's re-emphasize racial identity. And I think it was always the goal to create a reaction that they could go, see.
Well, this is how China, the Chinese Communist Party, came to essentially own the continent of Africa. That's what they did in multiple countries. In Uganda, in the DNC, in Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, and obviously in South Africa. South Africa had some problems in Mozambique. Like all of these places, they stirred up racial tension in there so that they could create a problem, start a revolution in many cases, and then take over their resources. This is like, I swear, I'm not a James Lindsay, everyone and everything is a communist, but this really is straight from the communist
I'm getting
playbook.
tired of the straight up anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about folks going, I don't like Netanyahu and Israel stop the war. I mean the folks that are like trying to find the Jew under every nook and cranny of society. I'm like, good God, please stop it.
And it's the most pointless thing because it's like the only people, like, what, they make up 2% of the population, I think Jews do in the United States, 2% of the population. So it's a significant number. But, like, most people, a lot of people, I would say, probably have quote-unquote Jewish ancestry in them that they just don't know or don't even talk about. So this... I don't understand. It's like,
well, and this is the problem with creating essentially this new hierarchy based on identity.
Yeah.
Like intersectionality was all about essentially reshuffling the totem pole, but we still want the totem pole. And I'm like, goodness gracious, what are y'all doing? And in fact, there are a lot of brilliant minds, people much more brilliant than me that saw this coming years ago. One guy I think of is Glenn Lowry. He said it on his show years and years ago, saying you're going to get a reaction. And what I hope is Trump's energy, Trump's victory. I hope Trump succeeds in particular to be able to tamp some of that stuff down.
Oh, I agree. But the problem is that in tandem with the sort of racialization and this racial group identity hyper focus of the woke, another thing that they did is they took, I'm trying to think of a best way to explain this, is they made certain truths unpopular, or essentially anathema. You can't say these truths. These are true things, but you can't talk about them.
That happened with Bobby Kennedy.
Yeah, it happened with Bobby Kennedy too. And so now, not only did you create this group of ostracized people that are now coming with all the racial anti-Semitic stuff, but they also have just a few little nuggets of like, hey, look, they lied to you about this, and if they lied to you about this, then they definitely lied to you about 6 million or 4 million, or about it happening altogether.
And
it's ridiculous.
It's all over the place.
It's
crazy.
crazy.
Kind of, and I hope it is just an echo chamber that's being amped up, or we might have something real to deal with. I'll put it this way. We need to win and keep winning economically, all this stuff. That tends to tamp down such passions. Yes. But hey, we got to hit a break. I'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Rich Thomas weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Hi, everybody. It's a very spring-like weather situation rather than the last day of January. Today, we have a front approaching, showers likely, possible thunderstorms, winds gusting maybe as high as 30 miles per hour, with today's high around 71. Clearing tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 43. The weekend forecast hard to beat. Boy, oh boy. Sunshine, upper 60s tomorrow. Sunday's high 73 with more sun. Monday, just a great spring-like day in February. High temperature up to about 77, plenty of sun. Upper 70s a good bet Tuesday and Wednesday with a sun and cloud mix. Boy, we deserve this break in winter. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
Before you buy new floors at a discount store and get them installed by the cousin of a friend who does this kind of thing, consider the better option. Prattville Carpet carries the most reputable brands for selection, style, and quality you can trust. And with their non-transferable lifetime installation warranty, you'll never have to worry about hardwood warping or carpet buckling. Your floors will stay as beautiful as the day they installed them.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl flake, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measure. Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Adams Drugs has been committed to the health care of the people of the River Region for over 62 years. We value the trust each customer has in our pharmacists, techs, and entire staff. If you have not experienced the difference of Adams Drugs and are not satisfied with the customer service that you get in the big box stores, we invite you to visit any of our locations and see how committed we are to your satisfaction. Adams Drugs offers a variety of services that you will not find in all pharmacies in the River Region. Personalized compounding, area-wide delivery, wellness screenings, immunizations, medication consultations, and specialized packaging, just to name a few. Visit us at our website, adamsdrugs.net, and find the location nearest you. Adams Drugs has 12 convenient locations to serve you. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Adams Drugs is your local Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon, or as we call this thing online, Joey Clark Live. This entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. They're ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy a home here in the new year or looking to refinance that home. All sorts of good reasons to refinance, especially if you're dealing with credit card debt or any sort of debt. Doesn't have to be debt problems. Could be you just want to restructure finances for all sorts of reasons. To reinvest in yourself, your family, your property. And, of course, they have the latest when it comes to the VA home loan programs. They're at Alabama Home Mortgage. They have veterans in their blood. They take the work they do for the veterans community very seriously, and they're trying to help veterans take advantage of those benefits y'all earn through your service. And it really is the best deal in town. You're not going to beat the VA home loan programs. But even if you're not a veteran, they can get you the best possible deal. They're truly the gold standard when it comes to mortgage companies here in the River Region. So y'all check them out today. You can always call Kim and Madeline at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Like Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. Let's go to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen from Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good. We're just trying to make it to the weekend. What's the score there today, Cohen?
It's 28-7. It's been good. Had a had a funny interaction with a customer yesterday. They came in and it was a mom and her daughter, and the daughter may have been in her 50s and the mom was in her 70s, and Anyway, they were looking for a TV. They thought they wanted a 32, and I showed them a 32. And she's like, well, that's not as big as the one I have. I said, well, the next size up is like a 43. And turns out that they still have a picture tube TV.
Wow.
Whoa.
So, I have a few customers that have the picture tube TVs, and that's only because it's 400 pounds. It's in their bonus room, and nobody can get it down.
Nobody can move it.
Well, then they've already made jokes that when they sell the house, it goes to that.
That's right. TV stays with
it. Eddie Bader can worry with that on his real estate.
That's right.
But anyway, it was just it was a whole nother set of questions because we couldn't figure out how you can have. I mean, a 32 is a 32, right? But,
yeah.
Anyway, we got her taken care of. She got a nice new Sony, and Michael Jacks almost beat her home with it because he had popped into the store and he loaded up and followed him home so that he could get it done yesterday.
Well, I love hearing success stories like that, especially the interesting ones. You're like, wow, I didn't know somebody's still doing that.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you that in this business, something as simple as a TV. I mean, there's still a ton of questions that you have to ask.
Of course.
So that this lady could see it from her bed. So anyway, that's what we strive for.
Well, folks, you can always shop from home at thinkcohens.com or call them up at 277-8890. But really encourage you to stop by the Boulevard, 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to find Michael and say, hey, I heard you on that radio show with Joe and Eddie.
That's right. Y'all come see us. Let us help you make the right choice for whatever your needs are.
Appreciate it, Michael.
Thank you,
Have
Michael.
a good weekend.
Y'all too. Take care.
Let's hit a very quick break. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
For over 40 years, Headley Plumbing has been fixing the River Region's plumbing problems with fast, affordable service. The pros at Headley are ready to respond anytime you need help, and they charge fair rates for their expert service. They help River Region homes and businesses every day, from repairing leaky faucets, septic tank service, replacing damaged sewer lines, or just unstopping a blocked drain. Trust the experts at Headley Plumbing. Call 285-3667. Headley Plumbing, 285-3667. Remember Headley's motto, in our business, a flush beats a full house.
Headley Metal Buildings has been your source for quality metal buildings in the River Region since 2007. Carports up to 24 feet wide, RV covers, storage buildings, even a sturdy metal barn up to 54 feet wide. Your structure can be customized, installed on level ground, and comes with a 20-year warranty. Let Headley Metal Buildings help you find the perfect solution. Financing available. Call 285-3667 for details or find Headley Metal Buildings on Facebook.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones for a top of the hour break. And let's talk to Duke. Hey, Duke, how you doing?
What's going on, fellas?
No, I'm just trying to make it to the weekend, man.
Okay. I was trying to figure how I can get my hands on one or two of those executive orders. I want to get my hands on one or two of them.
Like you can go to,
Think Trump will loan me a few of them?
I mean, they're publicly available. You can print it out and do whatever you want with it.
I'm just jealous of him, man. He's just having all the fun with these damn executive orders. I want my hand on a couple of them.
I mean, what would you like if you could whisper one thing in Trump's ear to do? What would you like passed?
I want them in my hand. I want to be able to control my own executive orders.
What would be the executive order, though? What are you wanting to order executively?
First one, I want to see how brave would it be to get Craig to slap Eddie on the show. I just like to see that done, first of all.
I don't think it'd take much. I could tease him with some food and then take it away from him.
Yes, that would happen.
I think that would.
But see, I wouldn't hit Eddie because that wouldn't affect him. I would try to give him just a big sloppy kiss on the cheek, and that would give me anything.
That would live rent free in my head forever. Yeah,
he's afraid of love, so I would assault him.
Duke, you see what you've already done.
Love.
You see what you've done, Duke.
All right, let me go and get it. Let me
Talk about malicious compliance. Ew.
Oh man, I know I'm messy sometimes. First thing, the state of Alabama, I like to put one or two in the governor of the state of Alabama, the little governor's hand for one to fix these bumpy ass roads. Now, I ran into a pothole this morning.
It's called cellulite.
Yeah. So, there's a few more things I like to do with one of them. Is all these companies that bringing those illegals over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what those folks pay a little attention to sometimes. Trump done something about that yet? With any of his executive orders about the company bringing these illegals over here?
I don't know if the companies necessarily. I know the borders went from thousands coming in a day. I think yesterday it was 300. So
yeah, it's down something like 93%.
We actually got more going out than coming in for the first time.
I'm talking about the one that the chicken coop, like when he sent 600 or so home a few years ago when he was in office.
Mm-hmm.
He raided that chicken coop down in Louisiana somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if there's been an EO so far on really enforcing things like E-Verify, but that has started at the state level. I think DeSantis in Florida. There's a clip of Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth here in Alabama, and some bills already filed for the upcoming Alabama session to sort of crack down on this company.
Yep.
Because you got the roofers on top of the houses taking local jobs away.
Yep.
So, but they haven't been talking about any of that. What I'm saying, all they've been doing is, DEI and sending those people home.
You're right. They probably haven't been talking about it in the news.
And also
if you look along the Spanish websites and Spanish TikTok and things like that, they're talking quite a bit about it.
And they said on the campaign, and they did it. He did do an executive order where it's seal the border and go after the folks that have committed heinous crimes. Like there was one guy in Chicago who had been convicted of sex crimes, and the mayor of Chicago was asked, well, this guy's been here since 2009 avoiding the sex offender registry. Why couldn't y'all do it? He's like, well, that's their job.
I'm talking about those people right there. I'm talking about the companies that
I know.
The head man or these company CEOs that bringing these, or the boss or whomever, bringing these people over here because they didn't walk down to the Sylvester Chicken House to start work. These company owners that bringing them in here, they actually be locked up too or sent back.
I don't think you can necessarily send them back. I think you could fine them. That could be a thing. But a lot of those.
But why isn't any of that being done? Why is that not being talked about?
Well, from my understanding is
are they getting a pass for some reason?
No, he said he's going after the worst first, and the worst would not be the people that show up for work. The worst would be the ones that Joey was talking about, the pedophiles and people that are killing Americans.
Right? I know that. I understand that.
Illegals are illegals, but you do have. If Juan is just mowing the grass, but Valdez is over here doing some murder, well, I'm going to take care of Valdez long before I mess with Juan. I mean, that's just common sense, Duke. Duke, you got to get back in the weight room, man. These are kind of weak arguments you come up with.
What about
buddy.
Hector that shows up to work, but he kind of lollygags?
I don't have an issue with Hector. As long as Hector's not doing anything that's immoral while I'm there.
Especially if Hector lets me try some of his wife's cooking when he comes to work.
See, that's another thing, too.
But my point is, though, with that, y'all, what you guys just talking about the guys that come over and do crime and all of that, I'm going to tie that in with these idiots going in these schools shooting up our babies in this country, and not a damn thing being done about that, but they want to pass a law for these people that come in and do stuff, but there's not a law to save our babies in these schools. Come on.
What kind of law do you want them to make? That you can't go in a school and shoot? I believe that's the law already. I believe that's the law already. I believe you're looking for the government to take care of issues that they can't take care of.
No. People are not getting upset about when these idiots go in these schools and shoot up.
Yeah, nobody's upset about that.
Nobody.
Nobody's
parade.
Right.
Yeah.
And I believe Trump did say the other day in a speech, Duke, that I'm tired of these repeat offenders that are murdering folks. Let's get them out of the country, too. Like, it's almost like he wants to set up a prison colony like Australia.
But they go pick these individuals up that shoot these babies and say they damn it crazy as hell, got mental illness problems, and take them by McDonald's and get the damn bite to eat, dude. Come on now, y'all. But
Isn't the guy
when
you're
illegal
citing
come in
right
here,
there
shoot
in
20
prison
bucks,
for the
y'all
rest of his
don't
life,
understand
and
me?
rightfully so?
Huh?
Isn't that guy you're citing right there in prison for the rest of his life, and rightfully
I'm talking
so?
about many of them, damn it, they label them crazy. They're not crazy. Hell, they know what the hell they
I
do.
feel crazy after this call. I thought you were going to advise an executive order that Duke gets duck eggs for free. I thought it was going to be something fun, and now you're talking about school shooters. People keep bringing up miserable, tragic crap. We've mentioned the Holocaust today. We've mentioned all the anti-Semitism, and now you're mentioning all this stuff. I can't stand it, Duke. I can't stand it anymore. I got to hit the top of the hour break. Go. Fine. One more.
All right. One more executive order I'd like to do also. I don't want to see the same story over and over and over again about this plane crash. People don't get big. I mean, come on, y'all kill us with that.
It'll be
Don't
with
do
us
it
until
too
next
damn
Wednesday
much.
or Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, knowing how the news cycle works, people will forget. But I appreciate it, Duke. I really do have to.
All right.
Thanks, man. See you, Duke. And all this depressing stuff being brought up. I mean, come on, it's Friday. Be happy.
Nobody cares about these school shooters. Like, yeah, I was about to have a picnic at Sandy Hook tomorrow.
What the world? Anyway, we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. NTSB investigators recovered the cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder from the plane that collided with an Army helicopter Wednesday and plunged into the Potomac River. Federal investigators will try to piece together any communication between the two aircraft and air traffic controllers, other pilot actions, and the aircraft altitudes. 67 people died. President Trump will put in place 25% tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico and 10% tariffs on goods from China, effective on Saturday. The president had been threatening the tariffs to ensure greater cooperation from the countries on stopping illegal immigration and the smuggling of chemicals used for fentanyl. Stocks remain mixed. The Dow is dropping 293 points, the Nasdaq up 41. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. Winter is officially here and it's cold. Make sure your system is ready for the winter. Call today about the advantages of the Clark Club membership to be sure you're covered. Call 277-2125 or go to clarkcomfort.com. Better call Clark. Alabama certification number 09098.
Well, hi, everybody. The front that has brought the showers to the state today will be clearing the area by this evening. Expect clearing skies tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 43. It is a pretty remarkable weekend forecast with sunshine, upper 60s tomorrow. Sunday's high up to about 73 with more sun. Monday, beautiful and spring-like with a high up to about 77. And I think we'll be in the upper 70s on Tuesday and Wednesday as well with a sun and cloud mix. Enjoy this because we know winter will be back someday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
You can make your ASE loan payment from your phone anytime, anywhere. It's quick and easy. YourASECreditUnion.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
1819 News.
U.S. Senator Katie Britt is very supportive of Donald Trump's nominee for FBI director, which is Kash Patel. Britt praised Patel on his answers within the Senate Judicial Committee hearing that was held this week in order to confirm him as FBI director. Britt praised Patel for handling the heated exchanges coming from Democrats and for continuing his commitment to uphold the U.S. Constitution and rights of the American people.
You've talked about de-weaponizing and making sure that we don't politicize the department. You have said everything you do will be factual and constitutionally based. You have said that there will be a singular form of justice once again.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Some of the greatest blessings is just having people that care about you, to have someone that's just going to love you and make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
There are new developments in the case out of Mobile regarding the drive-by shooting death of 9-year-old Kaylee Knight back in 2023. There are 5 defendants going to trial in this case. 4 of those defendants sought to have youthful offender status applied ahead of their trial. This would limit the level of punishment they would receive if convicted. However, the judge in this case denied all 4 requests. The other defendant is over the age of 21 and doesn't qualify. Kaylee Knight was asleep on the couch of her home when the outside shooting occurred, entered that home, and struck the girl. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the River region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
For more information, send an email to digital@bluewaterbroadcasting.com.
For many children, stability is something they have never experienced. At the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches, we offer hope, healing, and a family to children in need. But behind every success story, our house parents are the heart of our ranches. We're looking for compassionate couples to join our mission. We provide housing, medical benefits, a 401k, paid vacation, and the chance to make a lasting difference. The Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches. Be the love, be the guidance, be the family they need. Visit alsyr.org.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Is cocaine a stronger up?
Yeah.
So you're way up with cocaine more than anything else you can think of.
Cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. By the way, did y'all catch Theo Vaughn on Joe Rogan recently where they did the smelling salts again?
Yeah.
And Theo went way too hard and
Way hard in it.
Oh, like he stuck his nose in there deep, and it's like, you ever mess with those things?
Yeah. I've tried. I never use them for actual lifting because it's almost too intense.
I've never tried it.
I never tried them. I had them stuck under my nose when I got knocked out one time, but that's about it.
Yeah, I have a jug, the same one that Rogan has. It's from
Really?
a guy called Juji Mufu. He is. So I bought some of his a while back, and it was more of just a fun purchase than anything. I don't even know where it is, but yeah, I've tried it. It's insane.
Like you just feel revved up all of a sudden?
Yeah, it just feels like every nerve in your body all of a sudden just got hypersensitized, and you can just you almost tense up in this weird way. I tried it at the gym, and I didn't see much because I have to keep everything controlled, otherwise it'll get too crazy. So I don't need that hyper amp stuff, but it's a lot of fun.
Can you get it on Amazon?
No, you have to get it from. It might be on Amazon now, but you can get it on Juji Mufi's website.
Oh.
That guy's crazy. He's a fun to deep dive on his videos.
Yeah.
It's kind of
especially his old stuff. His new stuff is slightly more boring, but his old, because what he is he's essentially a bodybuilder that started off as like a gymnast. So he looks like a bodybuilder, but can do all the gymnasty stuff, which is nobody can do.
Crazy flexibility.
Crazy.
He's a bodybuilder that can wipe his own
He
behind.
did like so think of a barbell with however much weight.
Yeah,
I'm
it was like
thinking,
315.
Yeah,
405,
over his
something like that.
head, and then both legs full split on chairs. Like that sort of stuff. And you see how ripped he is, and you're like, how is he doing?
Is he the guy that does the videos where he's dressed up like a custodian in the gym and he goes up to all these big muscles?
No, that's the I'm thinking that's another guy. Robert.
Yeah,
Frank or
this guy
something?
couldn't hide anywhere.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like he's jacked.
Oh, by the way, there are plenty of stories to get to, like dark oxygen discovery blows up science. This apparently happened in the middle of last year. There are a lot of critics saying that, well, that's not true. We only get oxygen from photosynthesis. But there are some scientists, we can get into the details, that around Australia seem to have found like oxygen being produced at the ocean floor level. So
How deep on the ocean floor?
I don't know off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
they're going because there's a fight over it. When the report came out, I think in July of 24, the same researchers are going back and saying, okay, we're really going to prove it this time to make the naysayers see the light here. So that's fascinating.
That is fascinating.
And speaking of executive orders, Trump did this one where we're going to halt all funding to any institution that offers gender affirming care, so to speak, like hormone therapy and surgery to minors.
Yes.
But we were told that just doesn't happen, right? Well, get this. Effective immediately, Denver Health pauses sex change surgery, puberty blockers, and hormone therapy for those 18 and under. Well, I thought it wasn't going on.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it's from Donna Lynn. Donna Lynn, in parentheses, she, her, hers. Dear colleagues, you may have heard that late yesterday, the White House issued a very broad executive order that directly impacts Denver Health's LGBTQ plus services for people under 19 years of age. Because this is such a wide-ranging directive, we need to carefully analyze the order and work with our key stakeholders to best navigate what this means for Denver Health and our patients. It is going to take some time to understand the full impact of this decision. And so you're initially like, well, maybe they're talking about, are we going to be under the gun and lose funding if we just kind of do the logotherapy affirmation of this for you? No. Next paragraph. Effective immediately, we need to pause gender affirming surgical services and the initiation of puberty blockers and hormone therapy for those 18 and younger. But we were told that doesn't happen, right? Good on Trump pushing that. Let's go to Soldier Boy. Hey, Soldier Boy, how you doing?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah. What's up?
I just want to let you know I had to take some Motrin after that conversation with your last caller. Oh, God, my head's still hurting. Shame on you, Joey.
No, shame on
I
you.
want some sympathy.
Shame on you. You could turn it off.
Shame. Really?
Yeah, you
My
could.
radio's broken, man. It won't turn off. It's that permanently.
Wait, you took that literally? You ripped the knob off?
Cranked up the volume and ripped up the knob. Super glued to 93.1.
Well, you're stuck with us then. All right.
Well, since you want to bring it up, I'm going to blame you then. That's fishy.
That's fine. I'm to blame for a lot of things.
Hey, here's what I got a question. How many Americans have been returned alive back to this country since Trump's been in office?
How many? I don't know off the
How
top of
many?
my
I want to count.
I think we're supposed to get 2 more tomorrow. I don't know. I think we're supposed to get 2 more tomorrow.
Well, what is this, 2, 3, and we're giving them thousands?
Oh, I know.
Well, I mean, where are they doing?
The way I see that, and I'm like you, Soldier Boy, that's always infuriated me. But with this president, the way I see that is he's getting it all back so he can reset the table. And that way we're never in this predicament again.
Yeah. Okay, but we're not going to be in this predicament again. Trust me.
Right.
Not as long as Mr. Trump is in office. I don't see it happening.
Right.
You know, it's the same thing with Reagan. After he told them about that embassy in Iran, we didn't have any problems out of those people when Mr. Reagan was in office for 4 years. Nope, nice and quiet. Yeah, because, you know, it's like these people are coming back. You know, and if I was a terrorist, okay, a hostage people, I would go ahead. I would find out as soon as I find out you're American and you got a passport. Man, I'm going to put you in an easy boy liner chair, stream you some TV movies, and put you in there a 6-pack of cold beer every day. Come on.
They used to take you to the local federale, just drop you off. Yeah. Back when the American passport meant something.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But here's the thing about it is, wouldn't you want to take care of them? Oh, you're American? Oh, give him, get some champagne wine for him. And, you know. Yep. But it seems like we've taken the brunt of the hit.
We have.
Fingers missing, I heard? Correct me?
I don't know.
I mean, there was one Israeli hostage who said they're all terrorists, describing children and women and stuff. Which I'm not shocked. I mean, I think it's one of the most tragic situations in the world. And the more I look into that long history of that conflict, I kind of end up just angry at everybody, including especially the folks who sit in their nice chairs in the UN and go, we'll get a two-state solution. Peace is right around the corner. It's been right around the corner with multiple wars for decades now, guys.
Yeah, I think all sides don't want peace.
When I was over in Israel Desert Storm, that whole money-making scam was made by the Cheneys. Halliburton is owned by Cheneys. And they were making billions and billions of dollars. I looked at him and I said, he said, Sarge, I hope you enjoyed that $45 breakfast. I go, what do you mean $45 breakfast?
Wow.
He said, yeah, what it is, He says, what it is, it's contracted out and subbed out. All he's got to do is show that he has the ability to feed those amount of people in that contract, okay? So with that being said, he's not going. He may have the numbers to show on a piece of paper, but he turns around and gives it to these subcontractors. Oh my God! By the time we got down there, it was Kuwaiti. I said, "Then who made this breakfast this morning?" So those are Kuwaiti people.
And what was in that breakfast for $45?
Well, it said it was chicken, but it didn't taste like it. It looked like chicken, but it didn't taste like it. I think it was the way they cooked it. You know, this wasn't perfect. Guess where I'm at right now, Joey?
Where?
Cohen's.
Oh, nice.
It's a fun place. It's a
Yeah,
great
I'm
place.
gonna check out that new TV. Have you heard of the new TV out? It's called The Frame.
Yes, very cool stuff.
I think I have seen that.
It's got like a 5-inch border of wood all the way around it.
Yep.
Yeah, and you could throw up
a
a scene on it.
Yeah.
Looks like a painting. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and it doesn't burn it in or anything.
Correct.
Yes, and it only comes in 55 and 65, which is a little small for the Rodster, you know. But hey,
Seriously, I love my 85. I have yet to go see the 98-inch in person, and they really are
yeah,
great.
where at?
Beautiful.
Where's the 90-inch at?
98 inches
It's
at
in there.
Cohen's.
Yeah, he's got it in there.
No, where'd you get it at?
At Cohen's.
Yeah.
Eddie, I think he got a discount.
He kind of worked for it, but yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's like 85. Here's the funny thing about it is, when they had 55s out, I said, I can't get any bigger than that.
Oh, yeah, no.
And every time they have the electronics convention down there in Vegas every year. Man, they're coming out bigger.
Oh yeah, and flexible and all sorts of
even
crazy.
more clear. Yeah.
That side of technology continues to progress. It seems in other ways we seem a little stuck. But I appreciate the call, man. Hope you have a good weekend, and thanks for stopping by Cohen's.
Yeah,
Thanks.
tell Michael said hey.
Yep.
Thank you, Soldier Boy.
No, I want to get into this, since y'all seem so interested with this dark oxygen discovery. In the summer of 2024, an international team of scientists reported the presence of dark oxygen along the ocean floor and theorized that polymetallic nodules.
Excuse me. Oxygen of color. It's the 21st century.
Thank you.
Just don't. I'm trying to get this in under the line before. We've only come on, man. Seriously?
Oh, sounds like someone doesn't believe we all have a place in this world.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
Re-education.
Would you like to read it in German, Joseph?
In the summer of 2024, an international team of scientists reported the presence of dark oxygen along the ocean floor and theorized that polymetallic nodules have created this gas via seawater electrolysis. Excuse me. A flurry of criticism followed the article's publication, including the deep sea mining company that funded the study. That's what makes this even more interesting. It's like this was a commercial company trying to do research on what they could harvest.
Yeah.
And all of a
What's down
sudden,
there?
we've got a major, potentially scientific breakthrough. Now the researchers will once again return to the deep sea specifically to study dark oxygen production and hopefully settle this scientific disagreement once and for all. Of course, most oxygen on Earth is produced by photosynthesis as plants and plankton gobble sunlight for food and produce the oh-so-wonderful life-giving O2. However, that's not the only way oxygen can be produced. Enter dark oxygen, a process that isn't as nefarious as it sounds. Simply put, it refers to oxygen produced without sunlight. Although a couple examples of dark oxygen exist, a new potential source discovered in the dark depths of the Pacific Ocean's Clarion-Clipperton Zone, the CCZ, nestled between Hawaii and the western coast of Mexico, has created a firestorm of interest. It also sparks significant controversy as the source of this new dark oxygen could be polymetallic nodules, which are mineral-rich objects that are the prize of deep-sea mining companies like the Metals Company. In July of 2024, an international team of scientists published a paper in the journal Nature Geoscience claiming that these polymetallic nodules, known as manganese nodules, could be producing oxygen via electrolysis. As millions of years of metallic layers built up in the nodules, the differing electric potential could theoretically produce enough energy to split water into oxygen and hydrogen. Almost immediately upon publication, the Metals Company, who helped fund the research, disagreed with the results, and other doubts in the academic community, none of which have yet been published in a peer review process, began to surface. Andrew Sweetman, the lead author of the study and the deep sea ecologist at the UK's Scottish Association for Marine Sciences, and his colleagues have stood by results. What if you're getting millions of these little tiny batteries on manganese oxide particles in the nodules, and there's electrons flowing through the internal layer structure of the manganese oxide? Sweetman told Popular Mechanics back in September of 2024, "I was the worst critic of this paper for 10 years. I said, no, this is not possible, until I couldn't say no anymore." Now, Sweetman, backed by funding from the Japanese charity called the Nippon Foundation, will venture once more to the CCZ to specifically test nodules from the sea floor and hopefully put these criticisms to rest. According to New Scientist, the team will use custom-built landers that can descend up to 12,000 meters below the sea, which is twice the required depth needed to study the nodules. Well, it's good to have a little bit of a cushion. The researchers will also search for the presence of hydrogen, which was not specifically tested in the previous research, to further confirm that electrolysis is taking place. The first of these three research expeditions will set sail in January of 26 from San Diego, California. And it comes at a sensitive time as the International Seabed Authority, the global governing body that presides over the CCZ, is still determining the rules and regulations of mining these resource-rich nodules. If these hunks of metal are producing trace amounts of oxygen via seawater electrolysis, the damage to this already sensitive area could be severe, and conservation groups have taken notice. But fascinating.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean. Like, you keep exploring, especially below the oceans, you're like, what else are we going to find down there?
The conservation group part kills me.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him go down there and protest. Put some signs out.
On this one particular thing, I kind of see their point. It's like, this seems like something we didn't understand until just now. Maybe we don't harvest it.
We just sit around and look at it?
Yeah, it might be worthwhile and even worth more money down the road to actually study this process.
So when we went to the moon, did we just look at it, or we grab some samples and come on back?
Well, that was in the... You think we went to the moon?
Yeah, because last time I mentioned we didn't, Jay got all mad.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think we did, but we didn't.
Right. I'm first to admit it wasn't you or I.
You weren't part of that, Craig, right? You weren't born yet.
No.
Okay.
So we're in the clear.
Okay. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Now something a little more palatable. This is from a lady named Nicole Sapphire. You might have seen her on Fox News. Sapphire. A doctor.
Oh.
She does all their medical reporting.
I thought it was a somebody else worked a shift.
No.
Sapphire.
No, you'd probably recognize her. Very pretty blonde woman. And, yeah, well, that kind of describes all of them there.
Sapphire.
This is an op-ed she wrote after the RFK Jr. hearing. Hypocrite RFK Jr. Senate nicotine pouch wrecks his own health agenda. I'm like, I'm ready to fight you, Nicole.
Yep.
You care. RFK Jr. made himself a meme during his Senate confirmation hearing Wednesday and betrayed his own health agenda in the process. RFK popping Zen like a boss. Cheer people on X. They need to confirm him right now. After decades of relentless public health campaigns and advocacy against cigarette smoking, we are witnessing the tangible benefits with declining smoking rates and the illnesses associated with it. But as we relish this good news, writes Nicole Sapphire, the rise of nicotine pouches could upend the great advancement in public health. Hey, Nicole, have you ever thought that maybe the existence of these pouches has something to do with the cessation of smoking and dipping and other forms that are causing harm, and thus that's receding, and now we're seeing the tangible benefits? But no, you can't have any nicotine. Nope. It's like, especially like people who are addicted to hard stuff. Like the last thing that those addicts are kind of allowed is a cigarette, right?
What? Say that again?
The last is a cigarette. Like I noticed there are a lot of alcoholics, drug addicts, and whatnot who still smoke cigarettes.
Oh God! Oh God!
Yeah.
If you've ever, anyone who's ever been to a 12-step meeting will tell you, it's like before and after. It is just chain smoking cigarettes and chugging coffee.
Rolling through, yeah.
Just like literally, go to a 12-step meeting, watch the coffee pot get like the coffee machine get broken, and watch chaos ensue. So yeah, you're 100% right. It's the last thing to go. Malcolm X, by the way, who came off heroin and cigarettes whenever he went into prison. Well, he had to come off heroin when he went to prison, and then he quit smoking after he converted to Islam. He said that quitting cigarettes was harder.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I just see my dad, he smoked, oh man, probably the time he was about 12 or 13 until he had a heart attack at age 44.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the heart attack, a couple years later, we were on a fishing trip, and he went to we were celebrating a big moment, and he went to puff on a cigar, and that dropped him to his knees. And he said that was it. He said, I'll never need it again. He said, I wanted to be caught up in the moment, but my body quickly told me, no, we've done this for too long.
The small flavored packets filled with nicotine and other additives and tucked between the user's gum and lip are surging in popularity, mainly under the pretext that they are a safer alternative to traditional cigarettes. They are, Nicole.
By every metric, yes.
The rise of Zen, and by the way, much better than dip or chew, as well.
I would think even your health aspects, just from the
right,
even aesthetically, health-wise, it's 100% better for you.
She goes on, the rise of Zen and other nicotine pouches has been significantly amplified by social media, where Zen influencers, by the way, I use On brand. I don't use Zen.
Is there a bunch of different brands? Like
There are
cigarette
a few. He used, RFK was using Tucker Carlson's brand.
I forgot.
Yeah. I need to look into that. It might be good.
I'm actually ordering some as we speak.
Okay, nice. See, Nicole, it's backfiring. These marketing strategies seem cleverly designed to appeal to younger Americans. Oh my God, what a mom. The pouches feature candy-like flavors and packaging that resembles trendy gadgets, making them seem harmless or even cool. It's an intentional ploy that harks back to the tobacco industry's past tactics of cigarette glamorization, reimagined for a generation that's supposedly more health conscious. The FDA has authorized Zen and other pouches as a smoking reduction aid, giving them a reputation as a less harmful alternative. Yet this authorization does not equate to the declaration of safety. The pouches still deliver nicotine, an addictive chemical known for its impact on cardiovascular health, brain development, and its high potential to foster dependency. As a physician, but also as a mom of 3 impressionable kids, I'm deeply concerned about how the media are targeting nicotine pouches directly at teens and young adults, helping to normalize nicotine use at an age when the brain is still developing and most vulnerable. Within 30 seconds of entering the body, nicotine is quickly absorbed through the tissues into the bloodstream and reaches the brain, where it causes a release of dopamine. Most users feel an immediate sense of pleasure with a boost in energy. It's really good after you eat dinner.
Yeah.
Like there's something nice about it. Like the idea of going and smoke a cigar
Right, that's
after
what I was
dinner.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, a little pouch in there,
Mhm.
little pillow, little.
And much more socially acceptable than a cigar.
The buzz people get from nicotine doesn't last long, though. Most tend to miss the feeling when it's gone, prompting them to crave it, leading to addiction. And these pouches come in varying strengths, with some providing far more nicotine than cigarettes or vapes. This is particularly dangerous to adolescents and young adults.
Ugh. Think of the children. No, bake a pie, broad.
Given their still developing brains, nicotine can impair cognitive function, alter brain development, affect concentration and self-control, and potentially derail educational and social development.
The opposite, by the way, but nonetheless.
And by the way, lady, when I was in college, these didn't exist. So
Right.
Thank you. I guess it's good. I used to chew Red Man.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. Those are
Gold-
manly
gold-
days there.
Golden Blend.
Ooh, man.
You ever chewed?
I did a beech nut when that was popular when I was a kid. God awful.
Like a little girl.
Kodiak
Puked like a little
wintergreen.
girl, yeah.
Kodiak wintergreen at first, and then I was gold top.
Wait, did you swallow?
I did everything I could to get that out of my mouth. It was awful. Just kept getting bigger and bigger. We did the plug. Yeah.
Hold on. She goes on to say that regular use of nicotine can also lead to appetite suppression, weight loss, and possibly fuel body image disorders that run rampant among the youth.
What?
Something
Okay.
that helps you not want to eat is
Wait,
bad?
the first couple of things she said, I was like, yes and good. And then the last thing she said, I'm like, according to who?
This is right. This is how I felt when I read this morning.
Says who?
With a nicotine pouch in. I'm reading it right now with a nicotine pouch
I'm
in.
just saying, but considering the amount of cultural shame tobacco users have been subjected to over the past several decades, they don't care about aesthetics.
Thank you.
Well,
they don't.
Get a load of
Well,
this,
they're over.
this doozy of a next sentence. On top of all that, it can increase overall addiction rates and quite possibly lead to other substance abuse issues.
There you go.
It's a gateway drug,
Yeah, it is.
guys. You remember that?
Back to the example of hardcore drug addicts and alcoholics.
Mm-hmm.
No, all those guys are allowed caffeine and nicotine.
Yeah, I'll tell you, when I first joined, I have to say a 12-step program because the specific program requests anonymity over these radio waves, so I have to honor that.
Fair.
But a 12-step program, when I went there and I got a sponsor, and I was talking to him, and I was like, yeah, and at this point I was 302 pounds, and I was smoking. I'm like, I want to try to lose weight and quit smoking. And he was just like, yeah, no, you're not gonna do that. No. He's like, he made me promise right then and there that I would
Focus
not
on one
stop.
thing?
That I would not stop smoking. He said I had to promise not to stop smoking, and I had to go pick up about 10 of my favorite candy bars on the way home. And anytime I wanted to drink, I had to eat one of those candy bars.
Okay.
Saved my life, because if I would have tried to get skinny, quit smoking,
doing
and
too
quit
much, right?
booze, it wouldn't have worked. So he knew what he was doing. So yeah,
That's smart with
100%.
candy bars. That's really smart.
It's actually the opposite. It's like having one little vice in there will keep you sane while you're trying to shed the worst ones.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this lady. I hate her.
It's alarming to see a new generation hooked on nicotine, reversing years of progress made in reducing smoking rates among the young people.
But I thought this was better because it's not this. I thought the actual act of smoking was the problem.
No, they just want you to go cold turkey. You should never have nicotine.
Okay, then sell me the cocoa leaves. Just let me the cocoa leaves right off the plant.
What is that plant people chew in some parts of the world?
Cat
That's
is what it's called.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like people that are working, especially people who like write, use their head for a living, like nicotine because of all the reasons she described.
Yes, I literally I had to develop a way to where I could smoke in my office, in my home, for that exact reason, because it's just it's such a mental aid in everything, and that's why we're about to start the legislative session. I thank you for reminding me. I'm ordering nicotine pouches for session as we speak, because
be ready,
because I don't want to go through a metal detector every time I want to go light one up.
And also, like, okay, you can do too much nicotine. You can get sick.
I do.
Yeah,
all the
you
time.
can get higher blood pressure, all this other stuff. Well, it's kind of like, well, then don't do as much. In the same way, go take 100 Tylenol. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
But like, you've got plenty of stuff in your cupboard right now that if you take too much of it, you're gonna have a big old problem.
Yeah.
And by the way, none of them are as dope as nicotine. Nicotine is the best.
Yes, it is.
I am going to get a tattoo on my forehead that says nicotine is the best. It's the best drug. It is the single best drug that's ever invented. That's why every brilliant person you can think of smoked. Every single one.
The discreet nature of these pouches makes them particularly appealing in environments where smoking or vaping would be prohibited or frowned upon, thus broadening their acceptance and use while perpetuating the societal impact of nicotine addiction. So it's not smoking. You're mad about a chemical that a substance people have been using for what? Hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years?
No, it's thousands.
It's just Betty Buzzkill, man. Tell her to go away.
That's what made it so disturbing to see RFK, known for his vocal stance on health and environmental issues, and perhaps our next Secretary of Health and Human Services, platforming this product on Capitol Hill. As he championing the Make America Healthy Again movement before the Senate committee, he was positioning himself as a warrior against chronic illness and discussing how he plans to combat diseases, including food and drug addiction. Yet during his testimony, what appeared to be a nicotine pouch accidentally slipped from his mouth.
I know.
Here is a figure publicly advocating for health, yet engaging in the use of a highly addictive product while doing so.
I hope someone breaks into this lady's car every day from now until her demise. Like, I wish bad things upon her for being so stupid. And dishonest and disingenuous and all of this. Leave my stuff alone. That's like even what RFK was saying the other day. He's like, listen, if you want a honey bun, if you want a box of cereal, go get you some. Like, hey, you should at least be aware of these things. So same with nicotine. It's like who amongst us has not been inundated with the rhetoric of how bad tobacco and nicotine are for you? Everyone knows we don't care.
Just to prove that, if you go out of the U.S., you look at the labels on the cigarettes, and they're god-awful pictures. Yeah. They don't stop.
No.
They still go get another pack. So you're not going to regulate that. You're not going to... It's me trying to tell Craig, I know this is best for you, but Craig goes, okay, just go away.
Yeah.
I know what's best for me. What's wrong with that?
I know it's best for me to get 8 hours of sleep a night, but you know what? Netflix is there.
Right. But I'm a human.
Yeah, I'm a grown-up. I make my own decisions. Leave me alone. You can't be HHS secretary because he takes a nicotine pouch. This is what... I'm done. I forgot.
If they would have checked his testosterone, they might have said, well, he has too much testosterone.
Of course he does, because it goes in through a syringe.
Here's her
70 years old.
Here's her closing. Nicotine pouches are not for users from dependency. Instead, they offer a new form of addiction, wrapped in contemporary packaging and pushed by savvy youth-targeted media campaigns, making them even more sinister. And all the worse for being flaunted by a supposed health champion.
I want to beat her to death.
So you're so violent.
I get it. Who is she to say anything? If I see somebody not doing something that's not healthy for them, it's none of my damn business.
It's like, can you imagine the reaction of like if some like male journalist were like, listen, ladies, like that lady, the Alabama chick who's on the New York, who's gotten a lot of attention for being on the New York Day. Like if someone were to go up there and be like, write a public article, hey ladies, it's time you relax with the contouring. You look like you're having an allergic reaction. There would be uproar. But this cocky broad thinks that she can just come and interject herself into a very male dominated space. The nicotine pouches that's for the bros. Mm-hmm. That's for the boys.
For the most part.
Come in and try to tell us what to do. Not to have nicotine. Oh, it's addictive. Did you know that? Shut up.
And it reminds me of a Norm Macdonald line. The line is, quote, I remember a psychiatrist once telling me that I gamble in order to escape the reality of life. And I told him, that's why everyone does anything.
This is true.
Yeah.
By the way.
You pick your dependencies. You pick your mistakes.
Everybody's
you
got
pick.
advice, man.
Yes. And a lot of health has to do with balance specific to you.
Yeah, exactly. There's some people that they can eat garbage food most of the time and still be pretty healthy and stay pretty thin.
People have different metabolic rates too. You can eat more, some can't. Like,
I have breaking news, Joey. Tucker Carlson's, they have 9 milligram pouches.
See, I don't like the high. I like the tubes.
Maybe it would
Do
slow
you
you down
hate freedom too? You commie?
Maybe
I
you
like
could,
the tubes.
Maybe you could cut them in half.
Yeah. I mean, I've done all my manly, like, Red Man Chew stuff. Like,
I'm not saying you have to go to 9, but
and there was an era of Grizzly Wintergreen long cut and the Grizzly pouches.
No Copenhagen.
Then I tried like
Snooze. Did you ever do the snooze?
Yeah. And I didn't like that.
Me neither.
And then I tried like the cessation stuff, like the Nicorette stuff.
I thought that's for chicks.
I was feeling like it.
Oh.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty. And I decided, you know what? When I saw these new products, I'm like, all right, something that's like not crazy, especially with the dip, it starts to really.
Well, you got the bottle.
It's nasty.
Nobody likes seeing a spit bottle.
Yeah, or you do a cup, and then even still, you have to tuck the paper towels in there. It's just unsightly.
Right, and the flavors are for kids. It's like, wait, what?
What flavor?
Like adults can't enjoy like spearmint and wintergreen and citrus.
Gum flavors.
It's like, by the way, give a kid a Zen pouch and watch how quickly he freaks out. Like, what? It's not going to go well. It's not. They're not advertised to kids. That's what I hate about the whole vape conversation too. It's like they oh, this one tastes like bubble gum. That means that it's targeted towards kids. It's like, hey, I like bubble gum too, jackass. I'm a grown up. If I want to eat coconut berry kiss and vape it into my lungs 24/7, I should have that right.
I agree.
We got to hit a break. This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting, and there at River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and his team are ready to help you out with that roof of yours. And you got to get that roof checked out, folks. Especially if you've waited a while.
Yeah.
It's wise to at least give yourself peace of mind. Make sure you're saving yourself a very expensive headache by doing some basic preventative maintenance. And with River Region Contracting, you might as well do it on an annual basis.
That's right.
Because their inspections are always free.
Exactly.
And if they do find a problem, they'll write up an estimate for free. And they're insurance specialists, so they can walk you through that claims process, make it a swift and easy experience. And they really can give you peace of mind, whether it's an asphalt or a metal roof. They've got your back there at River Region Contracting. Call them today. That's 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell Todd Clark and the team there that Joey, that guy on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. My last message was the report for 2024 real estate market in the River Region. According to industry experts, they predict for 2025, we will have more inventory to choose from for our buyers, more buyers for sellers to show their houses to. Here are 5 tips for buyers or sellers in 2025. Number 1, sellers need to price their home at fair market value with the help of your realtor. Number 2, buyers need to be pre-qualified by a local lender prior to shopping for a house to save them time. Number 3, use a certified residential specialist or CRS to purchase or sell your home. Less than 2% of realtors nationwide have this designation. You need an expert now. 4, use someone with 48 years of real estate experience to help you with your largest investment. Number 5, quit waiting. Now's the time to buy or sell. Call Bo Goodson at 221-2883, the Goodson Group, or 551-0225.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. The front that has brought the showers to the state today will be clearing the area by this evening. Expect clearing skies tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 43. It is a pretty remarkable weekend forecast with sunshine, upper 60s tomorrow. Sunday's high up to about 73 with more sun. Monday, beautiful and spring-like with a high up to about 77. And I think we'll be in the upper 70s on Tuesday and Wednesday as well with a sun and cloud mix. Enjoy this because we know winter will be back someday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 special. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting, Montgomery.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Are you happy with your IT support company? Do they resolve your company's computer issues quickly, or do they leave you down and frustrated? You need your computers working and problems resolved quickly and permanently. GTI is different. GTI has a high standard of affordably supporting and protecting businesses like yours since 1999. Call them now at 819-4650, 819-4650, or visit gtinow.com. They've been performing for over 60 years, and on Saturday, February 22nd, they'll be performing for you. It's Exile live at the Impact. From their origins in pop to their success in country, don't miss Exile live on stage for one night only. It's Exile live at the Impact on Saturday night, February 22nd at 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at the Impact box office and Ticketmaster.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This part of the program brought to you by Sweet Creek Farm Market. And there at Sweet Creek, you need to stop by and go see Reed Ingram, folks, and really enjoy yourself. And you just told me they just got in another shipment of Andy Tipton's product, that Alabama Wagyu or Wagyu.
If they haven't sold out, that was, what, a day ago, 2 days ago when they got it in. And apparently, I didn't know, but it's a hot product.
It's so good. It really is.
I guess there's a lot of fans that like that.
Yeah, if you're looking to do grocery shopping, you can get that done at Sweet Creek.
Oh, yeah. And also I noticed a lot of pets, my wife's one of them, we give our dog a lot of raw milk. Don't know where to get it. I used to get it at a couple pet stores here and there. Well, they actually have it at Sweet Creek. They keep it there stocked regularly. So if you have animals that like raw milk or you like to put that in their diet, you can get it right there.
And you can also get a hot lunch, a big old sandwich. That Cuban is to die for, and it's massive. Like, that is a good sandwich. You have that for Craig? That Cuban over there?
Oh, yeah.
So good.
I love Cuban sandwiches are my favorite sandwich. So if I see one, I have to get it.
Yeah, and they do the wickles, like the sweet heat pickles on there. Oh, so it's got that southern twist to it. Of course, they do those big old hubcap cookies and the layer cakes and all the sweets. Mm-hmm. Those little like figurines and other like artistic little gifts only made here in Alabama that you're not going to find anywhere else but Sweet Creek. And so what you need to do is just stop by there. They're just 2 miles south of Taylor Road on Highway 231. And, of course, when you get by there, see Reed Ingram. Find Reed Ingram and tell him, hey, that Joey guy and Eddie and Craig, those guys on the radio sent you. So let's go to Josh real quick. Hey, Josh, how you doing?
How you feeling, Josh?
Hey guys, how we doing?
Pretty good, man.
Hey, sorry, I've got my hands full cleaning some Bob White quill right now.
I saw those, buddy. It looked like you fixing to have a feast.
I'm gonna do a little bit. I got one of my banker buddies. We went today was the last day of duck season, and I finally got to where I was physically able to get out and move into a swampish area.
Yeah.
Being through the illness and whatnot. So we went out and that little load of ducks, and my buddy had quail and whatnot. So I'm going to prepare everything. I'm going to have a sure enough show down here in the next couple of days. Yeah, but I just wanted to call in. I heard about all the nonsense with all the talk earlier with the women and the food and the byproducts, the dye and all this other stuff. Man, it's just people are going to find any kind of little niche to scratch at.
Yeah.
Bothers me to death, but
I know.
It does.
We all know.
But that's kind of the way of the world. It really is.
Yeah. I know. Everybody can have their own thing, but at least some people would maybe get slapped in the face when they didn't realize, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
People are saying stuff and acting ways that I swear that if they look back in once they get back in their prime ages, they're going to realize that how idiotic they acted. But I don't know.
This is true.
It's my point of view.
Well, we'll hopefully get on the other side of it.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I'm trying to get the feathers off my hands. You caught me.
It's all good. It's all good, Josh. Good.
All right, brother. Yeah, that'll be good. All right.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, man. Glad you're feeling better.
You call up our usual guy here. So I'm trying to think, what did we learn so far today?
Well, I was just thinking, when we open the show, Joey, you always ask how Eddie and I are doing. But how are you?
I'm having an identity crisis, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Yeah, I feel like I'm prostituting myself every day. Like here.
Here on the show?
Yeah, on the show.
Just a corporate shill for the man.
No, it's not because it's not really a corporate thing. It's more like I got to listen to all these politicians talk about all the great things they want to do for everybody, and I know there are a lot of people that are like that and like that promise, but I'm kind of like I just want them to leave me alone.
Hey ho, line one for you.
You gonna let him talk to you like that?
Well, he said he felt like a prostitute earlier.
Prostituting myself.
Oh,
why don't you read
sorry.
a book?
I thought you.
Why don't you
I thought I was helping you. Have one of those
and when you learn a book, for once in your life,
yeah,
why don't you start with the dictionary? All right,
dictionary.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't even know how you speak, and I see you writing notes and stuff over there. I just imagine it's little doodles of naked ladies and stuff.
Well, when I watch it,
there is that one, but yeah.
When he puts on the screen, he'll put the name of the callers up, and I have to watch him backspace about 75 times.
I got fat fingers. I got sausage fingers, guys.
No, I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, it's been a fun week. Been a very fun week. I mean, a lot of things coming every which way. If y'all read my op-ed this week, I kind of saw it coming. I felt it this weekend. I was like, man, are we just right back into all the BS? Just all the BS? Really? We're doing this again? Just rinse and repeat? It just seems a little much sometimes. But when you embrace it, you sort of look at it and you're like, yeah, stuff will surprise you.
It ain't easy cleaning house.
Indeed.
It ain't.
Let's go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I'm good. You want to talk about something that's even more irritating than that column y'all been talking about for the last 45 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Driving back from Auburn just now, there's a semi in the fast lane and never, ever gets out of the fast lane from Auburn to Montgomery.
That's nuts.
But every once in a blue moon, he would move over. And the car behind him, because I'm 12 cars back, just kept going 68.
Yep.
It's just, yeah, that'll make you lose your ever-loving mind.
Yep.
I don't even smoke, and I need a pack of cigarettes.
Well, get you a nicotine pouch. It's much healthier.
Get you a pouch. You'll feel better.
Yeah, I reckon I'll have to stop at the curb store and say, what's this nicotine pouch? And then I'm going to be addicted to nicotine thanks to you guys. So I'm going to have to try one.
I got you, Nicole Sapphire.
The reason I don't smoke is because at 12 years old, we stole somebody's cigarettes. I don't know where we got them from. And me and Ron and Jason and Micah, we all tried them, and we threw up so much, never touched them again.
Yeah.
That was the best thing that ever happened to me. Today we tried cigarettes at 12. I don't know why they don't want to let kids try them at 12. They'll never smoke again.
This is true.
Oh, sorry, I'm loading up Angie's little knee thing that you put your knee on and roll it around.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm also a taxi cab driver for Angie since her foot got hurt and she can't drive.
Oh, no.
Hey, Ray.
I think she's actually milking this thing a lot more. I'm outside the truck. She can't hear me. She could drive if she wanted to.
Well, I'm glad you told only.
Right.
You're right.
All right, I'm getting in the truck, so here we go with the ad. Hey, if y'all need carpet, call me 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement. And everybody have a great weekend.
You too, Ray. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
brother.
guys.
Again, that's 285-8117. And be sure to tell the great folks there at Prattville Carpet that you heard Ray here on the radio. You know, I wanted to spend that whole last hour reading that op-ed with the intention of actually getting people to go try nicotine pouches.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
Hmm.
It's amazing. It's like nicotine has become like a right-wing cause in a lot of
weird
ways.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I think it
Well,
is?
but like working out has too.
True. I don't know a single jacked lefty. I don't.
I'm sure some exist. Like in the military, for instance, I bet you there's some Democrats in the military. who are all jacked up.
Possibly.
Yeah, I know some guys at Hyundai that.
Yeah. But it culturally, like the media sort of memes. It's like if
Yeah.
you go lift weights and you like nicotine and other things like and guns and stuff,
Yeah.
oh, you're very right way. Which is, well, they kind of had a problem with men this last election. Yeah, I think the main reason that Harris lost, a big part of it, was not misogyny, but y'all's misandry.
Yeah.
Like you're in protecting women, you come across as like you hate men.
Yeah.
Yep.
That condescending, very arrogant tone of voice. And guess what? Men don't like being talked to like that.
Nope.
Right.
And then that's what they did is like, you bad, you.
And also, I think there are a lot of people who are tired of being told, look at how much progress we've been made. Look how much progress we've made. And then they see the results over decades and we're like, what progress?
Yeah.
That because you set up a bunch of boards and you got millions of people working on the taxpayer dole. That's progress, really?
Yeah,
That's what they call.
You had a sculpture, a $2 million sculpture that looks like a woman's anatomy. Yeah, yes, queen, you won.
Yep.
Ugh. Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're done, gentlemen.
Yeah, why do you take us to this place? I'm just disgusted with the world now. Should be fun.
Go have a nicotine pouch.
She was a good girl. Apple pie, 4th of July. She was a hooker. See, he was green. He was too green.
He was so green.
We'll be right back with Greg Budell and Happy Hour.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center. This is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SR